Shoot, we back, man. Episode 24. Yeah, feels good to say that. As always, man, thank you guys for supporting this. And shoot, man, this episode was really just very, very interesting, man. I got to sit down with a guy who I didn't even know he played this many instruments. Hell, I didn't even know dude knew as much as he knew about music, and I didn't even know this guy's full story. But yo, he really is the music man. This guy really knows his stuff. He's legitimately talented, and he just knows what he's doing, man. He just knows what he's doing because he's been doing it for so long. This guy's story is really one of the more incredible stories, man. Like, he literally has spent most of his adult life in music, and it's just an amazing thing. And being a guy who's made a living being out there, being on the road, touring, doing things with different artists, and just developing is an amazing thing. He's traveled, he's seen a lot of the world, and you know, honestly, it's good to meet somebody who is comfortable in who he is and is okay with where he's going in life. And that's Eric Hall, man. You guys are gonna hear a whole lot about his story on this episode. And I hope you guys enjoyed as much as you enjoyed the past episode. Shout out to Agent Q from the last episode, and just want to say thank you again to everybody, and I just hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed it. It's a great sit down, great conversation with a great dude, man. He really, really tells his story, man. So if you guys enjoy it, man, you guys take care, and otherwise enjoy the show, man. I'm out. Episode 24. Peace. Yo, what's good, everybody, man? I am back. Episode 24. Shout out to Kobe. You know what I mean? And we here. So I want to say thank you to everybody who checked out the last episode, man. I really appreciate that. It's been crazy. We've been doing a lot of work. It's been a lot of stuff going on. I wish I could say there's millions of dollars coming on in advertising, but that's not happening right now. So we just grind and we hustle, man. We don't worry about the payments and everything. That'll come once you show the work, you put the work in. But today, speaking of a person who puts in the work, okay, I want to introduce my audience, and maybe most of y'all who probably don't, or maybe some of y'all do know, but I got a really talented guy on the show today. And my man is Eric Hall.
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? What up? You're far too kind, man. I'm just a guy. I mean,
Nah. Let's keep it trill. My man Eric Hall is a producer, composer. He is a musician, first and foremost. And he is a guy who, he stays humble. Like, you got a lot of people out here, with his accolades, would be a lot more chest out, screaming from the top of the roof, screaming, look at me, look at me. Right. But he's always been, look, I do my thing, you like me or you don't like me, but guess what? Business don't stop.
Right.
And I respect that about him. And ever since I ever met him, he's always been, I see him in the club, straight pound, what's good, bro, da-da-da, straight genuine. Not no, industry pound. Yo, what's up going on, man? Yeah. Word, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool, bro. Never, you can tell when it's industry and when it's real. So today, Eric, tell the people who you are, man. What's you about, man? What's good with you, man?
Eric Hall, I've been selling drugs for about,
unfortunately, everyone, I really am with the kingpin of Jersey.
Yeah. I just had to let y'all know. Eric Hall, I'm a musician, like you said. I've been playing for I'm 33, about to be 34. Whenever this episode, I'll probably be 33 still. By the time this episode ends.
Beginning, the second week of November, probably.
Okay, I'll be 34 then. Hey. November 9th.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I've been playing instruments since I was 6 years old, and by the time I was probably 14, 15, I'm like, I know this is what I'm going to do full-time for a living.
You had it early in the game.
Yeah, because my family, my brother's a year younger than you, I think.
Yeah.
And he plays trombone. My mom sings and plays piano. My dad used to play trumpet. So as a little kid, in the household, everybody was playing. And I'm just like, so y'all just gonna leave me out here about nothing? I need to play something.
So everybody's playing, and was there Stevie Wonder playing in the house?
Yo.
That's what I think of when I think about people who are like creative families. Like Stevie Wonder's playing in the background, dad's messing with something.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I think is happening at home.
My dad's collection, both of my parents' collection, but my dad's music collection is crazy. I mean, of course, Stevie Wonder, like that's a given, but like Earth, Wind and Fire, Barry White, like Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, like all that soul, and like soul music of the 70s, they were big fans, especially Earth, Wind and Fire. So the horns, Earth, Wind and Fire, you know, their band was popping. They had like a 10-piece band.
Whew.
So I'm hearing all that stuff at like 4, 5, 6. I know when it's my parents' music, so it's cool because, you know, we grew up in the 90s where it's like, you know, hip-hop stuff and R&B.
Right.
But I also grew up in church.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know, playing gospel music too.
Hell yeah,
so it's just
Jackson
all
kind of
around
stuff.
me. Yeah. But not even just that, like Kirk Franklin and Fred Hammond, all that stuff in the 90s where the music was just evolving. I was just around that so much where it's just like, yo, it became like part of my DNA. Like, this is what I want to do.
So we already touched into the beginning of things, the origin of everything, because it came from your parents, and then your older brother was playing, and it came right. It just trickled into you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be there. Obviously, the talent came in there. Did your family recognize your talent early in the game?
Yeah.
And was with it, or they were just like, well, I don't really know what Eric is about right now. We're just gonna let him rock.
I think they saw the interest more than just a strong interest in music. So by like, I think 3rd grade is when I think out here is when we offered like you could play an instrument, like they could teach you. I think I kind of remember.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, I want to play sax from jump. Like, yo, back in the 90s, there's this dude named Grover Washington Jr., the sax player. He passed away in the late 90s, but he's kind of the starter of like,
Modern
you know, like
sax.
yeah, kind of. But you know how like hip hop got so many umbrellas there. You got old school hip hop, then you got gangster rap, then you got East Coast, then you got down south,
and now we got punk rap now.
Yeah, trap. And then you got this. It's so much. It's the same thing with jazz. You had like big band, then you had like bebop, then you had swing, and you had hard bop, and you had this. But by the time the 80s and 90s came around, you had like so much like popular music, like funk, R&B, dance music, and disco coming around that jazz was kind of like fading. You know what I'm saying? That type of jazz was fading. So they had like this new genre called smooth jazz. And he was like the leader of it, him and like Kenny G. But as far as a black dude, he was a Grover Washington Jr. He was like that. So I used to see him on TV, like on PBS and all that stuff. Like, oh, this dude, the instrument just looks so cool.
Right.
Like, I mean, I ain't know, as you get older, you say, oh, saxophone sexy. I didn't think that when I was 6, 7. I'm like, yo, this joint just look cool. I want to do it. And I remember going
that's crazy that you do that off the rip. Like, I want to just do that.
Yo,
nobody really has that. What age was that again?
I was like maybe like 7, 6, 7.
Yeah, nobody has the inkling like that. I'm just trying to get Voltron or something. Like
yo, I mean, all that. No, I was a little kid, so I was into all the other stuff too. But it was just like, even like basketball, like sports was cool. Of course, everybody wanted to be like Jordan, like all that stuff.
Well, we grew up in Teaneck. Everything was basketball. Basketball was life.
Yeah, basketball was life.
That's period, boy. Like, what? You're not going to play ball?
But you grew up in here too.
I know. Tryon Park is literally down the street from your crib.
Exactly.
So let me just tell you, like, I grew up. The park was everything to me.
Park was everything
for you. So. So you already know, like, where you go play. You go inside to play instrument, bro. We got like 2 games to go.
That was the problem I had as a little kid. It really wasn't until I got to college where I took it serious through high school, middle school, but like we had a really, really dope music program. So there was actually a lot of talented kids, period, who were doing music. They just never pursued it past like high school. By high school, it's like, yo, we got marching band on still, so I'm gonna go play football. So all my friends like, yo, this is cool and everything. Like instruments, I'm gonna go play football, my nigga. I'm gonna go play basketball or whatever. You know
wherever the homies was doing. Because when we were young, we just want to be down.
Yeah.
No matter what. I don't care who you are, what grade you're at. Being down was like, and Teaneck was a highly cliquish place. Let's just be honest.
It was. And I would go do my instrument stuff and afterwards go to Tryon Park at 4:30.
You were in the band, right? And everything else. Yeah. I totally feel you on that. The band had its own section of people too, though. They had their own like clique and crew and everything. Yeah.
It was cool. But now, I mean, by then I knew I wanted to do that. But it didn't turn into like a lifestyle thing until like end of high school into college when I was like, all right.
What school did you go to?
I went to 2. I went to NJCU for like 2 years. Then I went to Willie P for a year, transferred.
Shout out to P. I got kicked out of that school.
Oh, you went to Willie P too?
Yeah, with the P.
You got kicked out?
Yeah.
All right.
Things didn't go right.
Talk off here.
Let's keep moving. Yeah, everything is good. Shout out to Willie P. YPU.
Oh, shoot, you stupid. Nah, but I went there, and that's when I got my big opportunity to like go on the road. So I didn't even finish Willie P. I was there for like a year, and then
you got your big opportunity to go on the road. How did the opportunity come about?
So I was in school doing music performance. I was doing class. When I was at NJCU, I was doing classical flute. I got a scholarship there, but
is that where you learn how to compose and everything else? Or
nah, it kind of came like when I started playing piano, I was 13. I think I was interested in composing then because I used to hear the color. Like when you play like a monophonic instrument like saxophone or flute, it's like you're playing one note at a time. So you're kind of more related to a voice or rap or a singer because it's like that one sound. When you think about piano, it's like you got all these colors. You could play one note, 10 notes at a time. So you're hearing all of the colors of a song, and now you get into songwriting. So when I started playing when I was 13, 14, I used to be like, yo, I hear all this other stuff, but I don't know. So I started getting interested in piano. My mom played. She never gave me lessons, but she'd be like, you're already pretty advanced as far as your flute, sax, and your theory and what you hear. So just put that in there. She taught me with fingering, like, all right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like how to do scales. But I started like just learning songs on the radio, listening to Hot 97. Or I be in church. Or whatever. I hear Music Soul Child. Oh, what's that song? I want to play it. So I hear Carl Thomas. And I'll be learning all the R&B stuff. Play some stuff for a couple chicks. I learned like one song that took a month, and then my ear just started growing. But it was like my third instrument, so I wasn't taking it as serious. So
you just mentioned chicks. Chicks like creative dudes, especially when it comes to music. When you were younger, did you make music for the chicks? Like, I'm gonna make this song for this chick. I'm about to bag her, yo.
Yes and no, but I didn't know how powerful music was until college, yo.
Yeah,
because you in high school, like I fooled around. I was like fake sing to chicks, and they was like, oh, that's nice. But when I got to college and started really gigging and doing like real gigs, like like this music thing is powerful.
Yeah, man.
Like not even just on like women are drawn to guys would do it, but like men who are like heterosexual, we're drawn to talent. That's why dudes be like, oh my God, I want to be like Jordan or Kobe or LeBron because they see the talent, and we're just drawn. We have that allure. We're drawn to that.
It's something about that need to put ourselves in a place of something great. We all want the greatness. You know what I mean? That's the reason why Kobe turned into a drone of Jordan. He was a drone. Like he literally, and his intensity was crazy. If you ever get a chance to hear Matt Barnes on the Red Pill podcast with Van Lathan.
Just started listening to the other day. I didn't listen to the whole thing.
Yo, he breaks down the levels of competitiveness. You could just tell how focused in these people be. Like their whole lives be centered around this shit.
And that's how it is with music. Because I realized I would go to school. When I got to college, I realized my talent level from early, but it was like it's crazy about talent. Like when you just mentioned, like, oh, he's real talented dude. I believe in talent for sure because I could recognize that my learning curve for creativity and just in general how I hear music was fast. I remember like you said, when I was in 3rd, 4th grade, all these people was playing flute. Maybe it was 5 other students.
Right.
And the teacher would play something, and I could hear it once and hear the rhythm, melody, everything once, and I get it.
Right.
But as a kid, you're kind of ignorant to stuff. You're thinking like everybody learns like you.
I think Kanye was kind of saying, I hate him as a Kanye, but he described it the best when he said he used to be able to close his eyes and he would see colors in the beat.
That's all I see. I hear colors.
That's wild.
If I hear like a major song, I hear certain colors. If I hear a minor song, it's like dark. I see like blue colors. Like it relates to colors to me.
Right.
So like when I learned the theory behind it, like, oh, this is a minor scale, this is a major scale, and all that stuff that make the little technical stuff that most people don't know about. That's when this makes me feel this way. It reminds me of that. And I'm like, oh, that's what this sound makes me do. You know what I'm saying?
That's your mutant gift. You got it.
Yeah,
it's dope, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely a gift from God. But when I recognized it, I was just like, yo, like, this is like, there's levels to this thing of like the talent. You know what I mean?
My God, there's so many levels.
It's levels to it, but like, it's like, I believe in talent, but I really believe that you just have to work hard at something. Because I've seen some people who like were told like, yo, you ain't gonna be a good musician. I remember meeting people in college where I was like, yo, you might want to switch majors. Not saying this, I was saying in my head, like, they probably want to switch majors because they're just not good at it.
Right.
And then they might have, like, worked hard and then they blazing now and they way better than a lot of the people who were there because they just put the time in.
I'm sure
focus.
If we had sat there and we heard Pharrell's first beats or we heard Swiss Beats' first beats, we probably been like, yo, what is this? Bibbidi bop, boobity bop.
Yeah.
But it takes practice. I'm sure you weren't like, okay, let me just do this and it just sounds right. No, everything you probably do, because I remember you always, one thing I always check about you, you're very, very anal about taking things and making sure they're in a good sense, I guess, putting things together the right way.
Yeah, I believe in it.
And were you always, even when you were in college, was that attention to detail your thing that kind of separated you certain times?
I kind of, but I had a little light bulb experience. I remember when I got the freshman year, just to making that, I was commuting, so I was staying home, but making that adjustment to just be like, oh, this is a different workload in college. And, oh, shoot, like a lot of people don't know, when you go to school, for me, everybody's workload in life or how you compartmentalize things is different.
Yeah.
But when you go to school for music, like, I was taking 20 credits each semester. 18 was the minimum amount of credits, Brian.
Oh, my God.
Yo, and this is the crazy thing that people don't understand. You jump right into your major. You taking ear training from first semester, from freshman year. I was 17 because my birthday's late. 17 out, taking ear training, theory, music history.
Damn.
You got to do private lessons once a week.
Yeah.
Then I was in 2 ensembles.
Yeah.
And I went to NJCU. It's not a university. It's not a conservatory like Manhattan School of Music or Juilliard. It's a regular university. So I'm still out there taking regular ass math, English, psychology that freshman year with other people who aren't music majors. That's why I was taking like 20 credits.
Did you ever have a breakdown point? Because that's a lot of weight on your freshman year to come right in.
Kind of did, because I was just like, I didn't even see all the credits until after I did it, because my teacher's like, oh, you just do your ear train, do this, that, and I'm doing all that stuff. And I remember after like the first week looking at my credits, like at the financial aid stuff, like, wait, I'm taking 20 credits? This shit is kind of crazy. You know what I mean? And I'm playing flute and saxophone, and I'm playing, shout out to my guy, Ron Faison. Ron's pops is a minister.
Okay.
So right out of high school, where I was still in high school, before I even had like my light, I think I just got my license. I had no car. Ron was like, "Yo, you want to play my pop's church?"
Yeah. Shout out to Ron for real.
A lot of musicians who come up, like especially black musicians, our outlet is like, you know what I'm saying, like church.
Yeah.
Because you can play in church and you can hone your gift there. A lot of people don't know that.
I always thought about that. You know, like I always think like, okay, if you're a singer, you're a lady. You look a certain way, you're gonna get they're gonna put you in the stew.
Right.
But as far as black guys go, or just guys in general, where do you go to hone your skills? Where do you go? Because kind of like ain't no bunch of girls trying to invite you to the studio to go sing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You kind of in a situation where you got to fend for yourself. So
Yeah.
the church definitely helped you out in that sense.
Yeah. I mean, because you're getting to do it every week, and if it's like church music is so different because it fuses R&B. Like if you listen to a lot of like, I don't know how much like gospel or spiritual music you listen to, but if you listen to a lot of people, even from the 70s, my pops used to tell me like, yeah, like they used to sound like Earth, Wind and Fire, and a lot of the groups that he listened to when I like the stuff he would play when I was like a kid, it didn't sound like gospel music to me. No. But he was like, yo, back in my day, my parents wouldn't let me listen to it because it sounded like Earth, Wind and Fire, Sly and the Family Stone. I'm like, word? So I remember when Kirk Franklin first came out, a lot of people, he had Salt and Pepper on her song one time. He was rapping. Yeah. And I was loving it because I'm like, this is dope. But a lot of people, my parents was cool because they were open-minded. They were like, nah, it's gospel music, and they like Kirk Franklin. But a lot of older people were like, nah, that's hip-hop. That's not gospel music.
Secular music, period.
Yeah, so, but at the end, like, a lot of people don't know, like, really, like, the church musicians kind of run like the industry. Because if you think about Teddy Riley from the church, Rodney Jerkins from the church, like a lot of those musicians in there, and a lot of people who don't even get credit, even if they're not the big names, they a lot of do is come up with them chord progressions, come up with the musical stuff in hip hop and R&B, and you just don't hear about like the
church helps birth a lot of that creativity.
Yeah, some people stay and some people go. You know, I stayed in the church. I'm Christian. Like that's kind of like my rock when I go out, because like I said, the first opportunity I got with the Mary J. Blige thing was I was playing in college. I was at Willie P. And I was playing at a church out here in Inglewood called Community Baptist Church.
Right.
And my boy, Lauren Dawson, shout out to him. He's like a big, huge inspiration. He's like a mentor of mine.
Nice.
He's like 10 years older than me, maybe. And when I was straight out of high school, my parents used to tell me, like, I don't mean to talk your head off, but it's a kind of a fake long story.
Let it go, man. Let it go. Speak it all, man.
So that first house I was born in was a 2-family house. My parents owned it.
Okay.
And they used to rent, live on one side, rent out the other side, you know, make some income. That's what I'm trying to do now. Actually trying to get 2-family. Right. But the person they were renting from, who was renting from them, his name was Bernard Bell. Okay. And he's a crazy, crazy dope musician. He plays guitar, organ, sings, produces, all that stuff. And by the time the mid-90s, he co-wrote "Remember the Time."
Oh,
with Teddy Riley. He wrote mad dope stuff, but like that's his big.
That's
like,
big enough.
He was on tour. He was on tour as a bass player with Blackstreet and all that stuff through the 90s.
That's the golden era, though.
Golden era.
That's the golden era, like real hip hop. Like people, these kids they don't even know who Jodeci is, and I'm like, do you understand?
He played with all them niggas. Yo.
You know who Jodeci? Do you know who Shy? Do you know who these people are?
Yo.
Like, you know, Boys II Men. I know you know who Boys II Men is because they're singing at the Super Bowl or something
right.
that. But I'm telling you who Jodeci is. Like they were it. Like Genuine. You might not know who Genuine is. The boys' vocals is okay. Anyway, I'm going off a tangent. I'm going on a tangent about how R&B is just like
R&B is different.
This is rough. Right
but
now.
he was playing for all those people. So my mom was like, "Yo, when I got out of high school and was going to college, she's like, all right, I see you taking this serious. You need to be around." My mindset is this. I learned this early. Like, you ever think about like the analogy I related to? Like, I used to be big into like Discovery Channel, like watching animals and Animal Planet and all that stuff, right?
I still watch that stuff every
once in a while. Yeah,
on
word,
Netflix. The British guy be talking, I'll be like, oh, I'm all tuned in. Whatever the British guy talks about, I'm just tuning in.
Right.
Like, I can't even turn. It's
I'll
crazy.
be into it. So I look at it like whenever you want to get into anything that you're in, it's like I look at it as the watering hole. Like you look at the whole like environment. It's like you got the lions, you got the water buffalo, you got the gazelles, you got the zebras, you got the hyenas. They're all different. Prey, some are predator.
Yeah.
But the one common thing they go to is that watering hole. And you figure out, like, if I'm a lion and I'm lost, oh, my clicker's over there to go to lions. If I'm a zebra, I'm lost, oh, my zebra. So my mom was like, you need to go to the watering holes. You need to go where the musicians hang out. Musicians be at church. Musicians be at some of these clubs where they play live music. You need to find out where the clubs are at. You need to go to the jazz clubs. You need to go hang around the classical people. Hang around
where
the
the
theater
creative people are at, man.
Go and they each have circles and hubs. You got to go to them. So
Right.
I went to that church and was hanging out. And as a young musician, I'm just hungry, want to play and learn. So I was playing at that church a little bit, met Bernard Bell. Met my boy Lauren Dawson, and it just so happened when 2-3 years later, I was telling about my brother and my friend Adam Burton. Like my brother plays trombone, and my friend Adam Burton plays trumpet, but they were older than me.
Well, okay.
So they graduate college 05. When they graduate, I'm like, yo, you gotta go check out this dude named Lauren Dawson. He's one of the dopest keyboard players I know. He plays at this church. So I linked them all three of us together.
Right.
And then next thing I know,
you link people together. That's a dope move right there. Yeah. Because some people are not okay. Keep it funky with you. Some musicians have an ego.
Oh, yeah,
and
we
they
all
can't be
do.
in the same room together.
Yeah.
It's like you could have 3 of them in the room and it's just no air for you to breathe.
Right.
I've seen this happen. You know, being in the studio with dub work and everything.
Yeah,
I've seen the
yeah.
egos, and
It's
I'll be like, you know, none of you are millionaires yet.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I told him like, yo, you're gonna meet this dude as a keyboard player. So as that's the other side a lot of people don't see is the musician side. We see like the studio, but there's the actual. I play an instrument. Yo, I want to I want to play. I just want to play my instrument.
Right.
So going to church, that's why I said church is an outlet for people who play an actual instrument and singers too, because you get to just hone your gift. So when we went there, I already knew him for 3-4 years.
Right.
From straight out of high school. So I was telling him, and I guess he saw the vision like, oh wait, trumpet, trombone, saxophone. So he meanwhile he had the crazy resume. He got platinum records with J-Lo and Genuine, and he been touring with Mary J. Blige and Blackstreet and Bernard Bell. Like, so him and Bernard Bell close.
Right.
So Mary was coming off an album, and she hit him up like, yo, I want you to come back in my band, because he took a break. Because he started getting into producing and had a kid of his wife, and he's like, I don't
Life
want to be
changes
touring.
once that happens, boy.
He's like, I don't want to tour as much.
Yeah.
But then she called and was like, I want you to be my musical director. I'm getting an album. It's just like right when I went back to Willie P for 05. And he was just like, yo.
Wow, 05.
He was like, yo, you should add horns. I know these horn plays, they dope. I know you the queen of hip hop soul. I know your music don't have horns, but it will be something real fly. They're young. They hip hop. Trust me. They good dudes too. They not wild. They out there drinking wild. They ain't trying to smash everything down, at least not to my knowledge. So he's like, yo.
It could be a little further for the truth. Little stretch,
baby. Nah, but he was like, they're good dudes. I know their family. And they were kind of like, I don't know. So he was like, yo, we came to the church. He taught us like half of the set.
Okay.
Or like My Life, Be Happy. He showed us the live arrangements. We arranged with him. And he's like, I'm gonna just bring y'all in.
You got a real education on the fly right there.
Yeah.
That's a priceless education. You can't pay for that. That's just there, man.
And
that doesn't blow your mind because you're at that age. You're mad young.
Yeah, I was 20. I was in a practice room practicing at Willie P, going to the Willie P parties, living a college life.
Yeah.
But I was still hella serious about my music. But it was just like I didn't know that opportunity was gonna come.
Yeah,
I had no clue.
Listen,
Clueless,
at that
yo.
stage, at 20 years old, you're not even old enough to drink yet, but you're in wild stage.
Yeah, you an Odyssey stage, man. You an Odyssey. You exploring everything.
Yeah, like everything is like, yo, I'm living my life. What? We're going to go to the party? Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I'm
let's
going to
go.
party. I got $5 put in for the Henny. Let's go.
What? It's 4 o'clock in the morning? Hell yeah, we're going to the diner. I don't care if it break dawn. I don't care.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
that was exciting to me. So it happened, and then we in rehearsal with her. I remember her coming and we was rehearsing out here in Jersey.
Did you get a little bit of Godsmack? Like, oh, snap, I'm in a room with Mary J.
Nah, absolutely. Well, absolutely, because she came in, like, we first being with the band and hearing the level of professionalism. Like, all right, I'm playing with college students, and there's talented people in college.
Right.
But, like, and I've been doing gigs through college, like wedding gigs and, like, little gigs here. But not of that magnitude. So getting them, like, yo, the professionalism, the way they sound, just the way they move, the way they carry themselves. And they were all young dudes. No dudes wasn't old. There was some people in their 20s and maybe a few in their early 30s, but they were young dudes still.
But this is how they make a living.
Yeah,
so
it's how they make a living.
So they
and
dead
like,
serious
getting paid
about it.
a certain amount of money, and there's a certain with the money and everything, there's a certain requirement. So
Right.
now it's like I immediately have to just step my game up. So it's kind of like what was crazy in life is you never know, like, even what you're doing now, you're doing all this grinding now with your podcast. You don't know when that next opportunity comes that you probably will be so ready for it.
Right. You're
because
absolutely right.
You've been putting in a year. You on what? This is 26 episode?
This is 24, and I've been running and doing this for about a year now.
But that's what I'm saying, and that's how I was. I felt like, yo, I'm in the practice studio. I'm going to gigs. I'm doing this. So doing the married thing was just like I actually was more ready for it than I thought. I was still kind of like in awe because it's like, whoa. Then all of a sudden we on TV. Then we do BT Awards. Now we on tour. Now we going on the tour bus. Oh shoot, out tour bus. Oh, we get per diem and we get a salary. Oh wait, we get this and that. But then it's like, oh, I had to learn like 20 songs and then learn arrangements and then memorize them. Ain't no sheet music, which is fine because I play by ear and I could read. But it's just like the level that you're thrust into is like, oh, this is what it is. So then once I got that gig, it's like, I have to make, me, Danny, and Adams, like we have to maintain a standard. Let's start a company. Yo, let's give ourselves a name. Yo, let's give ourselves a horn section. Okay, our names are Danny, Eric, Adam. Okay, DEA Horns. Okay, let's get a website. Yo, let's take pictures. Yo, let's get serious with this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Get paid. Yeah. Obviously, you get ambitious as hell once you get a taste.
Man.
Once you get a taste of that life, I guess your ambition level goes from sitting at low to now I'm playing Ambition by Wale every 5 seconds in my head, trying to move myself forward. Did you have at any point? You had moved in. Did you guys decide, okay, we're going to move out, we're going to move in together, we're going to work together and do everything? Did you guys like group up in that kind of situation, or was it kind of like we're just going to come around and do things?
Because me and Danny lived in, so let me see, after the first tour, when we finished playing with her.
You're striking into manhood now. Like, on some, you're going around grown men now. You can't be like, it's like I relate this to a kid who came out of college playing ball, and now he's in a room with all the star ball players.
Right.
And now he's got to play that team. Now he got to act like a professional.
Yeah.
Now you're massively you're at that influential stage. That 18 to 25 stage, a lot of shit happens.
Oh hell yeah. A lot of stuff.
And now you go to click up with your boys. That you guys, how did those relationships work for you at that stage of your life?
Well, see, at that time, you see, everybody was like a year apart. So if I was 20 or 21, Danny might have been 23, Adam was 22, all like pretty much a year apart.
Okay.
So we were all like, of course, you know, the manhood stuff. Y'all got to move out, I got to do this. You got aspirations and goals. But we also, everybody had kind of was on the same page for the most part.
Yeah.
But it started happening so fast. Like, we started playing Mary like October 2005. With her, I forgot when we stopped playing. Maybe like March when we took a break or whatever. We stopped playing for 2006.
Yeah.
And then a few months later, we get called to play Beyonce. So it's just like,
she was on the cusp of becoming Beyonce.
Yeah,
Beyonce.
she only had one album out. When we was working with her, she was doing Dreamgirls. So we had rehearsal for like 2 weeks. So she would do rehearsal in the daytime with us, then fly to LA at night, come back on a red eye and do rehearsal for us. That's made me respect her more. Like, this is 2006 where she only had one album out. Matter of fact, the first show we did with her, Deja Vu, just dropped on the radio. Whoa. That's how long ago it was. All she had, we was playing like Me, Myself, and I, Crazy in Love, Dangerously in Love. Like, all her first stuff and then her stuff with Destiny's Child. Like, that's all we was really doing. The show was still like an hour and a half long. We still was doing hella material. But it was just like, all that, the ambition was there. But even for me and my brother, I think all three of us, we like I said, me and my brother were born in a 2-family house. I was like, if I ever get any bread, I don't necessarily, I would probably want to rent too, just because you want to get out of the manhood thing. Like, I got to be on my own. But part of me was like, if I just stack this bread, I can like own something.
Yeah.
And being a musician where it's like, you could be making like $10,000 one month, and then the next month you're only making $1,500. It's like, yo, if I have a 2-family house, I can invest in one joint.
That's a photography life right there.
Where you already know.
Sums it up.
It's the artsy, like, yo, you're your own person. You're for hire. But sometimes it's not about how dope you are, how hard you work. Sometimes it's the seasons where it's just like, oh, it's not that great right now. I'm okay, and you might be able just to make it. And there's other times it's like, oh, I don't care. My rent was $4,000 a month, nigga. I'm good.
But see, you're at that stage right now where club life becomes a thing. All your boys are going to the club. Because it's still around that time. People are still going out.
Yeah.
And you're like, I got to get this bread. I got to stack this money.
But you know, being a musician is like the funnest thing. Because going on tour, or even like I have a show tonight with an artist, and it's like, we don't go until 12:30, and it's at a club.
Right.
And it's just like, it's fun. So in that aspect, you're already in that area of like club and being out. But you're getting paid to do it.
So you get paid to be there. When you get paid to be at the club, that's the fly shit.
Yeah,
that is fly
it's already
shit, man.
fun, and you're actually like performing in it, and it's something you worked hard at. So it's just a little different. But so the going out thing ain't that big. It's just more about stacking the money and wanting to do that. So to answer your question, I guess all of us were kind of thinking that, like, yo, we want to own So everybody eventually, like, I'm the only one left who's not married, but all of them got married.
Well, that's life. That's
right,
life.
right,
That's
right.
life.
So they got married and they all live with their wives. Then when they moved down, they own their wives. They got houses or whatever the case is. But that was the goal, like to initially, like, yo, we got to start doing man stuff.
You
know what I mean? Like, yo, owning stuff and maybe invest in stocks or do something. And we eventually start to do that over time as the money started getting more consistent, which is why I said, like, yo, I always go back to church because, like, I would go on tour of these artists and make this crazy amount of money and then come home like, first couple of months you good because the money you made was like, man, I made what someone might make in a year in 4 months.
Right,
I'm good.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you like, at that 5th month, you like, all right, I can stretch this a little longer. What's a nigga gonna do?
Why is that for every? I've talked to a couple of people, and this is
how
a
long
trend.
can I stretch this?
This is a trend. Everybody be freaking out about it like that 4th month. They be like, yo, but so I got no bread
so but
right
playing
now.
in church was like you getting paid. I mean, I'm just fortunate that, and I don't look at church like that for a means of income. I look at it as like a place of refuge and spiritual growth. I just happen to like. It's like anything. As church is still business. They need a janitor. They're gonna pay a janitor.
Yeah.
They need someone to fix the roof. They're gonna fix the roof. They still gotta pay bills.
Right.
So they'll hire musicians if they feel like that's what they want their music department to be like. And like they'll pay you. Like I said, when I was playing with Ron, he was kind of paying me out of his pocket when we was in high school because it's just like, yo, you my mans. I'm not gonna have you coming out for free.
Okay.
But my pops only has 50 members of this church, so this is what we can give you. But hey, there's gas money for college, and it's gonna last me this whole week while I'm in Willie P, and I'm not gonna be completely broke.
That's because Ron is a solid dude.
Yo, he's
man.
been a solid dude.
He's a solid dude.
Guy,
Ron
yo.
is a solid dude. Like
He started managing us when we started doing it.
I remember I was gonna get into that, but I was like, yo, one thing about Ron, and that's one thing I love about dude is like, no matter what the situation is, you can count on him.
Count on him.
And there's not a lot of people in this world that you can count on like you can count on Ron. I remember there was a big ass fight at somebody's party, and we were just there. I had my DJ there. He was like, yo, Rad, we gotta go. I was like, okay, what happened? They say, they're fighting down the block. We go running down there. I never knew Ron to be that fast. We got down that block quick as shit.
Big niggas be fast on the low.
He was going. I was like, oh shit! Like hold on, nigga.
Niggas be down the quickness. Yo, there's a lot of fast big niggas. They be quick.
Oh man, big shout out to Ron, man. That's my man. 100 grand.
Word.
So you've been in this situation where you've been on your own.
Right.
How did your relationships with friends and family go? Being the fact that you're not in the norm, how you say, you're in the creative world all the time. The people that you grew up with, they're not all creatives.
Yeah.
And you have friends that weren't all creatives. How did those relationships work, being the fact that some months you're gone for a while and come back? Did you ever feel like you missed out on shit and you were just like, fuck?
That's crazy you said that, missed out, because I was thinking about this the other day. It's that thing, it's like an acronym. It's called like FOMO, like fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And now because of
real.
social media, it's crazy because you feel like, if I was, when people be like this, I'm going to fast from Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to take a fast. I'm not going to be here for 2 weeks. Then like 3 days later, like, I was back. I'm just playing. Like, what happened? Why you come back for? Because they fearing they're going to miss out on something.
Right. I remember one time I was out with Dubs one day, my man, and we was out, and he was just like, yo, man, sometimes we be looking like bum ass niggas. We be looking at our phones. It'd be like 1 o'clock. Everybody out doing something. You home. You feel bum as hell. And I was like, I sat there and said to myself, I said, how is he in my head right now?
Yo.
How does he know this is true? I know this to be true. Like, I just got back in the car and was like, I don't even want to talk about this.
Yo.
Why is this real right now? But he was like,
fact,
just speaking out loud. But everybody kind of feels that way. Like, they're kind of like, yo, if you go on your Instagram at 1 o'clock at night and everybody's live and it's a Saturday night, you're not live, you're just looking around like, am I a lame?
Right. I feel you. It wasn't that bad for me because, like I said, once you got that taste of like, this is the lifestyle I'm curating and I'm creating, and it's really I'm in charge of how it's gonna go.
Right.
I mean, you can only control yourself. Obviously, there's a lot of things I can't control. So I'm like, yo, God, if this is what you want me to do, I'm gonna just stay on it. I'm gonna honor you. I'm gonna stay focused with it, and this is what I'm gonna do. So like, I never felt like. I mean, naturally, there's human stuff where like. And this is more so even before Instagram. I remember all my friends in college, and they all, my close ones, I told them, like, yo, I'm about to go on tour with Mary J. Blige or Beyonce. And they're like, yo, that's what's up. But then when I come back, I'm like, yo, have records? Like, what's up? You got a party? I want to come through because I feel like I just miss my homies, and I feel like, yo, I'm missing out on that college life.
Yeah.
But they're like, yo, my nigga, like, you on tour with Mary J. Blige and Beyonce. Like, why do you? Like,
How is tour life? How is tour life at that age for you?
Tour life is crazy, man.
Because you're starting now, but I know tour life must be different than it was then than it is probably for you now.
So, for example, I started touring when I was 20
Mm-hmm.
with Mary J. Blige. When I was 28, the last 4 or 5 years, I've been with Trey Songz. And that's a totally different tour.
Right.
Mostly because, like I said, 05, Facebook was for people who were in college.
Yeah.
And we had MySpace for, like, you know, but it still wasn't the same, like, as far as, like, what you can do with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It was very minimal. Like, it's just like, I don't even think niggas could even do anything but send a message and poke niggas.
Yeah.
Back in 05. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can really do. You have to, like, go on your computer and do that, though.
Things changed around 07, 08.
Yeah, then by 2009's Twitter, and then by 2010, 11, Instagram.
Things was rocking out here, boy.
Oh,
you gonna tell you, T-Neck was on fire, man. This whole area was on fire.
Twitter, I missed the Twitter days. The Twitter golden era was great.
DM life. DM life.
It was great back then.
Yes.
But then when I got with Trey, it was 2012.
Okay.
So now Instagram's on. Like I was telling you, it's like, yo,
Is that around the time we dropped that song with Fab? He dropped that joint?
the mixtape?
No, it's your birthday.
Oh no, but that was 2009.
That was 9.
That was Ready album.
He blew.
Oh yeah,
That one blew.
That's why he was able to get it. Well, he's been at the band for a minute, but then it's like he kept growing and started blowing. He's like, I want to add horns, I want to add dances, I want to. He remember when I got with him, he was saying, I want to be the Marvin Gaye of this generation.
Yeah,
he
could. I mean,
he's still kind of on track for that.
He's on track for that. He needs a couple more hits. I ain't gonna lie, because right now that's Usher.
Yeah.
That's Usher.
Yeah, that's
he's
Usher.
still because he's being lumped in with Usher at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. He's still, like, we're the same age. We're both 33, about to be 34, so it's not over for him.
No, it's not even close.
Like, he took a break because he told us he was doing movies, and I think he just dropped one. It's like he was playing a detective. Like, he took his acting chop serious. So he took like a whole year off of like really doing it.
But that's being smart because he knows he can leverage his music career into music. Hell, okay. All I'm gonna say is, well, he didn't really do that. Jamie Foxx just leveraged everything.
Well, Jamie Foxx is a different type of beast, man.
He's unbelievable.
Jamie Foxx his talent level is different. Like, he's a triple threat. He's one of my favorite.
And he just bang bang,
Yeah,
bang
yeah,
bang bang
yeah.
bang bang. He just knocks out stuff. You'd be like,
Yeah.
you're Jamie Foxx, like the most talented person in the industry, but no one gives you credit for it.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but going back to what you're saying with the touring versus then, it was new. Like, I was green. Like I said, I was like, what's per diem? What's this, and that? Now, training with Trey, I done played with probably like 15, 20 different artists. They did Shaka Khan, Stevie Wonder. I played with this person, that one. I've done award shows now where you're stationary, where we're in New York. I'm not traveling, but it's still like a very focused amount of energy you have to do and seriousness. Then I've done tours. Then I get into recordings where people call, yo, we need a horn section.
Right.
Pay you X amount of dollars to play on the record. So when I got with Trey, my experience was a lot more ahead. So I knew what to expect. I knew what tour life was about. Like I said, my brother and Adam, they just got married. So it wasn't the hype of, yo, we on the road. It's like, yo, we've been on the road. This is business. It's going to be fun.
Right.
But, like, we're older now. We're in our late 20s.
Knock it out and get it done.
Yeah, like, let's go on. Like, he's a good dude. His business is a good dude. Trey's a good dude. The band, I love it. That's like family.
Right.
So it was dope doing it, but it was more so like, that's also when I started getting producing a little early in that. Because 2012 was when I got my first placement as a producer. Funny thing with Ron Faison.
Okay.
We both got our first placement with Madonna.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, that was big. Everybody was loving that shit. Like, yes, yes.
You got that.
I was like, yeah. Look, we're supporting each other. I like this. Shit's hard these days.
And that's when
man.
I started saying, like, yo, like I'm really just gonna start putting just as much time in production.
Yeah.
As being an instrument, like a performing musician.
That's when the producing part of your whole creative lifestyle begin to flourish.
Yeah, that's when it started to connect more. Because I was producing, like, in my mid-20s, like, got a computer, got, like, stuff. And I was like, yeah. And I took it serious, but it still was like, wow, I'm so far ahead as far as performing and playing and how good I am on my instrument. My arranging, composing chops are there. The talent is there. I just got to spend time with it.
Yeah.
And that's when I met Dub and everything. And it's like I started putting in the work as a producer.
When you got with Dubs, I remember that was around that time.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know.
Yeah, 2010, 2011, 2012.
And I'm looking at you like, this guy's a producer, man. He looks a little square, but whatever.
Right.
Let him live. And then I heard the music and I heard what he was doing. And I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. Because at first I was like, he doesn't even have a real name. His name's Eric Hall.
Right. What's his stage name, nigga?
Yeah. Like,
we need a Pharrell or something.
What's street name? My street name is Red, okay? What's his? Your name's Del Work or whatever it is. That Ellie Double, whatever the hell it is.
This nigga got some name. Nigga got no regular ass name, nigga.
Nigga's corporate, son.
Right, word.
Nah, but that goes to credit to you. You kept your name.
Right.
A lot of people they can't keep their name.
But that's also the time where having your name was cool.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, this is
because your
Carrie
name,
Hilson.
Carrie Hilson. That was a time where you could have your name. Really, like Kanye West. Hate to bring him up again, but at that time, a person's name is your name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's the reason why, even in my company right now, I stuck with my name. I don't care how average my name is.
Yeah.
I'm Brian Johnson. The most famous Brian Johnson was the lead singer for AC/DC.
Right.
But that's fine. There can't be other Brian Johnsons in the world, so I get why you stuck with your name and then try to like give yourself some type of creative name and then work.
I wanted to give myself a name, and sometimes I still be like, "Yo, should I give myself a name?" But it's just like nothing came to me that I'm like, "Oh, I like that."
Just don't become the artist formerly known as Eric Hall.
Yeah, no.
That would be, even though that'd be dope as hell,
Right.
I'd be like, yo, that's dope.
Right.
But
I might do it. I'll give you credit, but like, I was with Brian one day. He told me to do it. I know. It was like 7 years ago, but I did it now.
here's my logo on the side of my face. you know?
Right.
What is this Prince shit, bro? But no. I think the way you stuck to who you are, you've become a brand on your own.
Right.
And I think that's something that I want to make sure that comes across in this podcast.
Right.
Is that you had success very early, but it didn't throw you off to the point where you kind of like you started speaking about yourself in the third person all the time.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Did you encounter a lot of that as time went on?
I mean, like just being in a creative world, whether straight, and it's crazy because a lot of people, we grew up in hip hop, so our terminology is always like, yo, this is a hip hop thing.
Yeah.
But nah, I mean, mad old niggas who's like 50, 60, who are like classically trained musicians, and they're just as cocky and arrogant and talk shit just like hip hop people because it's about music and it's competitive, and they feel like, well, my art's better than this person's art.
Yeah.
I meet people
I
who
find
like,
that in photography all the time.
Right.
I'm like, oh.
I've been in circles where dudes wear tuxedos every night and play Carnegie Hall and they talking shit about each other. Or it could be in hip hop where they say, yo, son. Or it could be in country music or on gospel music or on R&B. It doesn't matter. It's like that ego thing is everywhere. And then you meet genuine people too who don't even care.
Did you meet a lot of people who are like known stars and stuff like that? Did you ever find yourself ever starstruck to the point where you're just like, oh shit?
Yeah, a few times. Like the married thing was a little starstruck, but less starstruck, just like, yo, like, is this really happening to me? Because it's my first opportunity.
Yeah. So your eyes wide open.
Beyonce was a second thing, and that was literally like we just did marry a few months ago. And it's like, oh wait, where God, you throwing alley oops? I just got to jump and catch the ball. Like this is how it's working.
Yeah.
So I was a little starstruck when she came in because. Really, for her, like, when I did Marry, we had, like, 4 or 5 days of the band, like, getting it together. By the time she came, we pretty solid, and it's just her, like, I like this or I don't. Let's change this. Let's run the show. Beyonce came on day one, my nigga, like, hey, I'm not rehearsing with y'all. I just want to hear what y'all doing. I was like, oh. And the crazy thing, I'll tell you about the Beyonce thing real quick, not to go backwards on it, but, like, we got the call on a Saturday night at 6 p.m. Like, yo, I'm dropping off, this niggas had CDs. I'm dropping off a CD of 30 songs.
Taking it back.
My boy Lauren's like, I'm dropping off a CD of 30 songs. You got to learn all of them. Rehearsal's on Monday. It's 6 p.m. Saturday night. I think I had a shorty at the time. I was like, you gotta go. She was in the crib chilling. I was like, you gotta go.
Oh.
So me, Danny, and Adam sitting there learning. First of all, half the songs was like old school songs like Michael Jackson and like Aretha Franklin. She did all her inspirations. Diana Ross, like I'm coming out, but the real coming out with the horns, not just a sample 4-bar loop. But like we had to learn everything to the T. Then she had arrangements already that she had with Destiny's Child. Then all her music. And rehearsal was Monday. And it wasn't an audition, but they were like, when they called us, they said, we want trumpet, alto sax, and tenor.
Do you know what kind of pressure you must have been in your stomach? Like,
all 3 of us. And it's like, we was like, nah, Danny plays trombone. You don't need a tenor. But how we going to tell Beyonce we don't need a tenor? So our thing is like, if we come in so confident and we blaze this music, they're going to have no choice but to be like, we're going to hire you.
Okay.
And that's ended up happening. But nigga, we was under the gun.
That's, man.
And she showed up that first day and she was wearing all white. Niggas trying to get, and I'm not one of the picture niggas, but I was like, I need to get pictures. I had a palm trio. That's how long ago.
I would have been.
I took the joint on the side. I caught the picture though. I didn't post it though. It was just from my own personal archives.
You gotta have those though. Now you've traveled quite a bit.
Yeah, I've been to Africa like 3 times, Europe. Like when we do those tours, like I said, we're married we did all the U.S., South America. We did mad stuff. So I've been to a lot of these different countries. You can see a lot.
How is travel different then than it is now?
Yo, I feel like. Well, first of all, niggas have to go through all the crazy security. I mean, 9/11 that just happened, but it still wasn't as bad. Like,
right.
It travels the same, and it's different, but not the problem.
You were overseas traveling early. Like a lot of us, like, I didn't go overseas for a long time before then. I got to Jamaica. That's not even overseas. I got to Jamaica in 2007. But I had been to Bermuda and a few other places prior to that. But you were traveling regularly at that point.
Yeah.
The LA. What was La La Land like for you first time when you went to LA?
LA was cool. LA was cool because it's like the vibe is totally different out there.
Did you want to stay?
Yes or no? Like every time I go to LA, I like being there. But after like a week or two,
I always ask this question about you because I always wonder, like, why didn't he just? LA seemed like he could really vibe out there.
All right, so if you're in the music now, like a lot of people made the exodus to go to LA in the past like 10 years. It was a slow exodus, but everybody's in LA now.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was coming up, New York
or
was,
Atlanta, for God's
Atlanta
sake.
too.
Yeah,
but New York was always
I was shocked, but
yeah.
Atlanta was like, I was like,
Yeah,
yo, this
yeah,
is
Atlanta
it's
has
like a
its vibe.
hub.
Nah,
Like,
they do. A lot of different places have their own vibe now, mostly because of the internet now.
Yeah, okay.
Because it makes the world so small. But
Yeah.
before, like being from New York or New Jersey was a thing, and you had to come here to experience. Just like from being down south was a thing.
Right.
Being from LA, now it's just like you go online, everybody dresses the same.
Yes.
We all use the same slang, and I get it. Hip hop and black people are culture, so there's gonna be stuff we're naturally connected.
Yeah,
with,
things
but,
gonna overlap.
But like, used to come in like when we still could come in, niggas got a Tim's and that Yankee fitted. You know you from New York.
Yeah.
It's like, what's up, B? What up, B? It's like that's what it is.
You hear it's still the dialect.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there.
But the influences is like, let me know this. If you want to get into, and I actually just did a movie. Actually, I did a film score for this upcoming movie. It's called. Well, it's a series they're pitching. It's called Black Lady Goddess. I did that. But if you want to really get into Hollywood film scoring, you could go to LA and like kill out there because the movies are all done in LA.
Right.
A lot of the artists and a lot of the labels moved to LA. So like, if you're a musician, you could work out there. But over here in New York, we got Broadway. Broadway makes great bread,
yes.
especially if you're an instrumentalist.
And
we started doing that too.
And it gives you creative cred, like on another scale. People, oh, you did Broadway.
Right, yeah. And the thing of Broadway is you home and you're making probably the same money that you would make. In order to make really good money, you can make okay money and not be on tour, but like to make the money that you make on tour, make almost 6 figures from just playing the instrument, Broadway.
I get
You know
it,
what I'm
I
saying?
get it,
So
I get
that's
it.
here.
I got
and
you.
a lot of Broadway shows go on the road, but they go on the road.
Right.
It's still the road. They go in the city for like 2 months, they go another city. Broadway, you New York. I got to pay my little $16. But I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I get you. That's
so
why
I like staying in New York because I feel like as a musician and the connections I've already made, they're stronger here. I got connections in LA,
Right.
but it's more so like when I tour, if I want to go out there quick and do some studio stuff and link it with some writers, producers, it's cool.
But your
as far as-
family's here, friends are here.
yeah, but I wouldn't even mind. That's not even a big thing because I'm not married yet and I
Yeah.
don't got no kids. It's like I could bounce wherever I want. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? So
right.
it's not a big deal. But I like it for both reasons. The only thing I don't like about LA is I know we're from Bergen County in Jersey and we're kind of used to it, but LA is hella fake. LA is like a plastic environment. Now you could go out there and
Even
find
worse than where we come from because shit gets real. Like,
it's real out here, but I still feel like New York still got a realness to it.
Yes.
And here's the thing, LA's laid back, so it's a different vibe, and it'll get you into a different creative space. But
Right.
New York teaches you grind.
Yes, it
Nigga,
does.
you're grinding here in New York.
Yes.
The hunger.
Yeah.
If I was in LA, I don't know if the same opportunities would have came and I would have been ready for them because the hunger here, like I said, all those stuff under the gun, like, yo, nigga, we giving you a CD of 25 songs to play for Beyonce. And a lot of them was like, yo, you got to make the horn parts up yourself and they better be dope. Because she's coming in. I didn't even know she was coming on Monday. She just happened to show up.
You talk about the sweat coming off the brow.
Yeah, but it teaches you grind. It's like, all right, nigga, wake up, do it again. Okay, rinse and repeat. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it teaches you like kind of that grind. And it's every situation was different, but I was able to, not us, but we were able to rise to the occasion.
I think it's dope that you're able to like really clarify those kind of things. And you're not like sitting there like trying to glance over it. Like you were like, listen, nah, I really had to fight to get to this spot. Like it wasn't like it wasn't given to me because I was talented or I was able to see things. Like I worked every minute of every day that I could to get to here. Like this wasn't just given to me because I got to look here and there. Like I think that's dope because a lot of people, they just rock with that. They'll rock with that narrative and let it rock. Like, yeah, just came natural. I got it right here. No.
And if this then it's like breaking mass stigmas. It's like, I'm a black dude who plays flute.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, oh, that's cool. Everything's cool. Here's the thing about all that stuff. It's people not look down, but it's like, whatever, until they want tickets for Trey. Oh, you want tickets for Trey, nigga? What happened to the whole flute shit? No, I'm saying, you my mans, though. I wasn't your mans last year. What are you talking about? I be telling niggas all the time, I went to high school with that nigga. Nigga, I only barely knew you. And it's not to try to play nobody, because that's not my thing. But it's just like, I never looked at it like that. You know what I'm saying? I always thought flute was just like, not even, because we live in a climate now, you can't even be like, say certain stuff.
Yeah.
But I used to think like, that's not a manly instrument.
Yeah, but come on, but
And to me, it isn't.
But it just blows my mind because I'm like, yo, he does an instrument. Like, you guys didn't grow up watching the Grammys. Did you not see all the people that got these Grammys?
Yeah.
All these people were people who had to learn something.
Right.
And this man took an instrument that that might not come natural to him right away. Took more instruments and learned those, and then all of a sudden he made a life for himself. That's nothing to sneeze at. You gotta respect that.
Yeah, and my Quincy Jones is one of my favorite.
Did you watch that documentary?
Yeah,
on Netflix?
yeah, I'm a Quincy Jones groupie though. He has like 4 other ones that came out in the past like 10 years. So
okay.
some of the footage they had was actually from one he did like maybe 8 years ago.
Okay.
So I read his autobiography like years ago, but it was still a dope doc. I'm a doc guy.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too. I'm a sucker for a good documentary.
Me too.
They got the basketball docs right now on ESPN. I just be like getting what I can get with them.
Yeah.
With 5 and 10 minutes of, but yo, that Quincy doc was like, yo, this man, you really don't understand. This man is the father of mostly of everything you think of in music.
Every genre he's touched it and blazed it though. It wasn't like okay, like nah.
And he came up from, I'm talking about dirt poor homie, like the family.
His thing, like I grew up in Bourbon County. His life was crazy.
Yeah, like
I was about to be a gangster at 8 years old. I'm like, what? I was trying to figure out, like, you know what I'm saying, if I was gonna like what class I was gonna pick it.
This is crazy. My grandmother and grandfather like would tell me stories that just exactly the same as what he's telling you.
Yeah, I feel like our parents and our grandparents, maybe not my parents and that, but my grandparents, they be having these wild stories. I'm like, how the hell did y'all make it?
Yeah, because they came out the world. My grandparents came out the rural South, like hardcore shit was going on back then, and they came up off the backs of just taking care of business. And my grandfather, God rest his soul, you know, he was a gangster, like real shit. Like he did whatever he had to do to take care of his family, and so you got to respect that. I think it's a testament to your family that now you're here with it.
Right?
How proud are you?
They super proud, but they always support it. Like I said, there was times where like I said, like all the stuff I did, it didn't happen overnight. Like we do different stuff, we do a gig, and then the thing, like you said, is like being a creative is like it's all good when it's good.
It's all good when it's good.
You know what I'm saying? And then I remember the moment I came back from Beyonce, my mom was super proud, and she's like, so what you going to do now? I'm like, I'm going to wait for the phone to ring, because if your phone is kind of like your calling card.
Yeah.
Like, I'll usually answer the phone. I don't know if it's a telemarketer. I know we got call ID. I don't know who's going to be. It could be someone saying, yo, I need you this gig. I need you for this. I need you to produce something. So I always answer it. But she's like, yo, you should teach. I'm like, I ain't teaching, Mom. I didn't even finish college. She's like, no, but teach privately. Like, there's people at the church that want to learn piano or voice or whatever. I was like anti it for a while. And then after a while, I was like, all right, a little $60 extra a week, or 100 or 50 or 200, whatever it is.
Money's money, baby.
And then I actually enjoyed it, because I'm like, yo, like, I'm 21, 22, I'm young, but I feel like I could show somebody who's 5, 6, or even someone who's 10, 11.
Right.
I didn't realize how much wealth of knowledge and just experience I've already had, so why not give it back? Pay it forward. Someone showed me.
Right.
Someone is always, like, I feel like you always got to help, because someone is helping me all the time. There's someone right now who's giving me an opportunity to do whatever I'm doing. Yeah. So it's just
the fact that you had that early is good.
Yeah. My parents, they support it, but they also made sure, like, yo, make sure, like, you give back.
Yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope. That's good, because that'll help you once you become a dad. Yeah. You know what I mean? You'll be able to say, yo, you're cool, whatever you're doing, but how about we just go back here and help out these people?
Yeah, you have to, man.
And your brother was kind of did this, basically was doing his thing. Yeah. How was that sibling connection, to have that connection with your brother, like somebody that close to you?
Because we were always really close. You know, you go to college and he went away, so we were still close, but it's like he's doing his thing, and then I was like, again, used to not having a brother around all the time. You know, we shared a room, so it's funny to laugh back now, but when you think about it, it's like that mental connection was like, oh, you're not there no more. You know what I'm saying? So when he came back home, and immediately we jumped back into what we love to do. And now, oh, shoot, we got an LOC together. Oh, shoot, we touring. Yo, bro, this is what we want to always do.
Right.
So the bond became even stronger. And like I said, 90% of the gigs for the past 10, 15 years, we were on together.
Right. You
know, every once in a while, I get a call when people start knowing I can play piano and keys. Well, they're like, oh, shoot, you do that? All right, yo, you play keys. So sometimes he wouldn't be on it. Or sometimes, like, he would get a call to do Broadway show. Like he's been doing Chicago for the past like 7, 8 years. But they just call it trombonist. He made a connection for a dude he knew. Right. And they put him on the sub list, and he be subbing. Right. So sometimes we don't do the same gigs, but it's still the same thing, because we connected. And we always looking out like, oh, you need a sax player? Oh, you need a trumpet player? Y'all know my boy Adam plays trumpet. And the fact that we had a company, DA Horns, that was the main thing. Like, yo, our horn section, we come as a trio. Right. We could arrange for you live. We could do studio stuff for you, whatever you need us to do. You want us to play me by ear? You need us to read music and sight read it? What up? Like, so we worked on hard so that no one could ever not stun on us, but so we didn't limit our opportunities. Right. I didn't look at myself as a jazz head or a hip hop head. I said I love music, period.
I think that's just amazing to me, man, that you guys did that, because, you know, not a lot of brothers are willing to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always that underlying competitiveness that just draws people apart.
Yeah. Nah, I think we just kind of knew and like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's the upbringing though too. Like we never really beefed like that. We never. If we I remember we used to like not fake fight, but if we was mad when we was younger, it was like, all right, don't hit me in the mouth. We gotta play tomorrow. I gotta play trombone tomorrow. Like niggas said, mad body shots, warm the ribs up. Don't hit me in my face though. Yo, I play flute tomorrow, my nigga. Like, come on, I'm hit me in the face.
You feel that?
Because we would hit each other everywhere, but it was like we didn't even say it. It was just like an underlying rule, like don't hit me in the face though, my nigga. Like you can be mad at me.
Mother come upstairs. What are you two do?
You could whelp up my back and my arm. I could get marks on my arm. Just send me in my face, nigga. We got a concert tomorrow.
Now, speaking of family
Mm-hmm.
and being in the business and moving around, did you find yourself dating in the business too?
Yeah, dating the business is tricky though, man.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on your maturity
Dating a
level.
fellow musician is like what?
So here's the problem. For the female singers that I've like kind of dated or whatever has something with, it becomes, because like you said, and it's not anybody's any fault, but because I started gigging early and playing with the artists, they look at it like, so you gonna put me on or not?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't even have to say it sometimes, but it's that underlying thing where it's like,
I'm fucking with you because you're gonna put me on.
Not even. They might. I think a lot of them genuinely just like me for me. But what happens is like, well, you in this position, like you should want to put your girl on or somebody you care about on.
That's rough, bro.
To something, but it's hard. Like it's like, yo, like I'm not always in a position to do that.
Did that affect your relationships early in the game? Because I mean, when you're listen, I'm gonna keep it funky with you, bro. Okay, you're like 23, 24 years old. What do you think we're doing at that stage?
Right.
We're savages, bro. Okay. We're savages, right? I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for no PC bullshit. Savages. But I preface everything I'm saying to say you're in a sort of compromised position where people might try to get at you because they want something other than you.
Yeah.
How was that navigating that situation?
Well, here's the thing. There's a perception of everything, and the perception is that
even now I'm guessing that's still kind of a thing.
Oh yeah. It is, but I mean. Here's the thing. When you're going, I'll specifically speak to tour or being a musician. When you're on tour, people think like, yo, you're going on tour is fun, but people don't understand how like draining on your body it is. Like, yo, sound check. I'll just give you a basic day of what tour, like a week of tour could be, or even a couple of days.
Right.
You get to a city. Once you start the tour and you're on your tour bus, you get to a city. Let's say you check in at 11. If you're for artists who it's like maybe the headliner has money, you might get a hotel room. Most of the artists I played were big time, were like A-list celebrities for the most part.
Right.
So now we each have a hotel. You check in at 11. Yo, be back down. Be back down at 1 p.m. because we gotta go over and do sound check. So now you get 2 hours to yourself to maybe wash your balls. Do what you gotta do. No, I'm serious, because on the bus you're not washing.
Nah.
On the bus you got bunks, and you got bunks, but they're not the same. You're on the road. It's not the same as sleeping in your bed or even sleeping in a hotel room.
Right.
You go wash up. You maybe get a little 2 hours of alone time because you're allowing niggas all day.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go sound check. After sound check, your catering starts at 4, bro. You get your little ticket for catering, you eat. Oh, the show doors open at 7. People already outside at 6. You're still not by yourself. Now, the show starts. If you're a headliner or the opener, maybe you go, since we was headlining, like I'll just use the trade, so he's headlining. So now we go see Elvon or Miguel or Tiger, whoever's open up. You go watch them to open up. Oh, yo, we got to make sure you change by 8:20. Now we go change to our stage clothes. Then you do the show. You kill, have fun.
Right.
Now it's 11 o'clock. You tired because you just gave an hour and a half show.
Yeah.
Now you got to change out those clothes, do that. Depending on how they route the tour, it's like, all right, you are either going right on the bus and going to the next city, or they'll say, yo, you're about to go back to the hotel, and then lobby calls at 2 a.m. So what type of sleep am I getting? And then you might be in a city where they might, like, because Trey at the time, he was getting a lot of hostings. Like, yo, he's getting paid to do some of these joints, but he only was obligated contractually to be there for like an hour.
Okay.
So now it's like, if you want to go with him, or sometimes it's like, I don't want to be around because it's too hype. I want to do our own thing with the band, because our band was like, we all family.
You come
but then
family.
some niggas was married and like, I'm going to my room. Y'all niggas do all that stuff you want. Not even on the wild joint. It could be like, yo, let's just grab a drink.
Right.
It don't have to be about girls. It's just some dudes like, I'm good. I'm going to talk to my wife, FaceTime my wife. So now, lobby calls at 2. So depending on what you did, now you on the bus. Niggas on the bus, you might joke around, ha ha. Now it's 3 in the morning, niggas going to sleep. And you do that for 3 months. And you rarely get a day off. It might be some days like you.
So you have no time like to eat healthy, work out, nothing.
Nah.
Damn.
That's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes dudes will get to the thing in the morning. If we get to a city like maybe at 10 and we don't have to be down to sound check for 2, dudes might be like, yo, I'm gonna hit the gym real quick. Maybe. If you have the energy, like, I just want to get 45 minutes in or something.
Right.
We do push-ups, or bring the little push-up blocks, or do something in the dressing room. But your sleep, by the time your body gets acclimated to it,
Right.
it's like 2 weeks left of the tour.
Then
you're going home.
That is rough, B.
So when it and on the second thing I was gonna say, when it comes to the female thing,
Yeah.
people get it twisted because there's 3 types of women you're gonna meet on tour.
Right.
I mean, what's it, the podcast? So I can only be as raw as I can.
Be careful what you say.
What happens on the road stays on the road, so I can't divulge all the information.
No, the road stuff we don't even deal about. But
but I'm just saying. But people always think that you, as a musician, you go on the road and it's mad chicks, it's all these bitches. And there's 3 types of women. Number 1 is gonna be the groupie chick.
Right.
Here's the problem though. This is the gauge that's used. The groupie chick on a scale from 1 to 10 is anywhere between a 1 and a 6.
Every time.
Those are the ones that's like giving up anyway. But if you have a dude who has some type of standards, you like a 6. I don't really want that.
Yeah, you don't
Maybe
want
on like a random night, you might be like, maybe. But you're like not gonna indulge that because first of all, the groupie chick doesn't want you. She wants Trey or whoever the artist you're playing with.
Right.
She just knows that you have the laminate. She sees your laminate. She sees that you were maybe on stage or part of the crew. So like if I'm around him, I'm there. So you really the annoyance is she really just wants to be around for something. She might give you some action, but that's it. So me, I never indulge in that because I'm like, I don't got time to be around those 6.
Yeah.
And you think about it, most men, we date to what we think you are. If you're a dude and you think you're a 7 or 8, more than likely you're gonna try to get a 7 or 8.
Right.
Even if you're a 5, you might be like, I need a 7, baby. Me, I think I'm 8 on a good day. That's just me, how I feel about myself.
When you're just out and about and you're just like, okay, this will work for tonight.
Right.
That's gonna happen. But if you're on tour and you got business to handle the next day, and the next day, and the next day, you don't want to necessarily get involved with some bullshit.
That's the groupie. The number 2 you're gonna meet is probably the worst of the worst.
Oh shit!
This is what we call the pump fake. If you go overseas, we call it the Euro step. The pump fake, and I know we live in a real delicate climate, so and the Me Too movement. So I'm not gonna go too deep into it. But this is the person that will like. This is what I always tell people: if you met somebody for the first time at a show that you paid for, you meet somebody. Whether it's a real interest or maybe you just gaming them, you just whatever. If someone says, yo, like, are you going to the club? I don't know, but you have to go to a hotel and drink first or whatever. You want to come through? It's 12 o'clock. You as a person, as a woman, or if you're a man, but mostly I'm talking about for women not coming to, you have the option to say, nah, I'm good. You can take my number, but I'm good. Like, nah, I'm not coming. Right. But if you go there, you're giving the impression. It doesn't mean that what it is, but you're giving the impression that like, all right, I'm down with the shits. So a lot of times I've seen it. It's kind of almost happened to me once where, like, the woman will come back and do a bunch of wild stuff. Like, will lead you on.
Yeah,
and then be like, no, you want to have sex. And then it's like, but we butt naked.
Yeah, we here.
You drank all the liquor. You wanted this.
I've been there. I understand.
Like I said, we in a different climate. So I'm not sure. I know it's tricky.
It's never easy. You just got to be like, cool.
Yeah, no, you got to be cool, but that's the worst of worst. We call them the pump fake, because like, you just did the pump fake.
And pump fakes are the worst, because I've experienced that, and you just be like, all right, I'm going to the bathroom. All right,
good night.
Right,
or you can leave my hotel room now.
Yeah, that's really what you would have to do.
But like I said, I started touring since I was 20, so by the time I got the trade, I already knew all the tricks. Like, I knew what it was, because I wasn't green anymore. And by this time, I was just, and I think half the time I was on tour, I already had a girl, so I wasn't even like worried about the chicks anyway.
Right.
And then the third type of woman you meet is actually the best. It's the networking type one. Well, they might be an interest, but they're like, nope. They let you know from jump, nope. Hey, you got my number? Nope, I'm not hanging out with you, boo boo. And then they might be like an assistant at BET, or they might work at Power 105, or they might work at a radio station, or they might be like a real working woman who you meet them, and it's like, oh, I met you at the music thing, and there's a connection, and now we could be networking people or friends in that capacity. And those are the type of ones I like to meet the most.
That's the
because there's a respect level that they have for themselves where it's like, and you might end up liking them or dating them later, but when you meet them, it's just initial like, this is what I'm about. And if it goes any further, it will be on our terms, not on this because of the hype of the moment. It's no hype beast moment because, oh, you just came with the stage with Trey or whoever. It's this is what it is. This is what respect me for that level.
But those are the kind of chicks you really want to meet.
Yeah, that's the ones you want.
You want to meet. And you worked in R&B. You worked with a lot of musicians, and you worked with a lot of talented artists. Right. And those will always attract more and more people.
Yeah. The last tour we did, one of the last tours I did, this is this headline. It was called Between the Sheets Tour. Trey Songz and Chris Brown. Co-headline tour. Right. And Tiger opened up. So Tiger went on for 15 minutes. Once we started the next thing, then they stopped, gave a little 20-minute break to change the sets. It was Trey and Chris back and forth. There was no even stopping. We did 20-minute sets. It was a revolving stage. Chris come right on. Right after the downbeat of that last song, Chris comes on. Then,
how do they have energy for that, man? That's gotta be.
And there was two bands, so like their band would be lit up, and we still be on stage, and then it was still up to come to there, and it was just like that.
So you had to be sitting. You had to.
We sat there and wait while they did their set.
Woo!
And then that was when we did the revolving set. Then they did like the slow ballad set where like Chris would do one song and Trey would do one song and then go like back and forth. Then Chris would do his Trey would do our last set and then Chris would close. So after that we could go out into the crowd or do what we want to do.
Right.
But it's just like those two big R&B like fake like sex symbols damn near.
Yeah.
Like Trey is kind of like a sex symbol. That's his thing. That's the MO that
that's
he
what he does. That's what
and
he's gonna
Chris
have.
kind of has that. I mean, he dances and does other stuff too, but chicks wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And we sold out. It was an arena tour. They sold out every joint. We was at the Barclays Center. We was in Boston. We was Prudential, wherever. It didn't matter. Sold out everywhere.
That's dope, man.
So, but like I said, that was when I was 29, 30, 31. So at that time, my mindset was just like, I'm good at I'm chilling.
Good at all this shit. Like, I'm good on that.
This is get this money. I love to do this. I'm still going to enjoy it and still do it with so much zeal and passion.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been there before, so it's not like new to me. Like, oh my gosh, it's girls.
What was the first thing like you came off tour and you splurged on? Like a big purchase. Like, damn, I maybe shouldn't have bought this as a bad investment, but it was dope at the time.
I always like fashion and shoes and all that stuff, but I can't even say it's a bad investment. The most thing I did was splurge on more instruments and more like equipment. Like,
okay. So you didn't go like buy a pair of Balenciagas or something like that?
Nah, I wanted to. No, I did probably, but I don't know if this is when I came on tour. I definitely that's how long ago it was. I bought some like Gucci and Nordstrom. You know, everybody in Teaneck, anybody in Bergen County knew somebody who worked at Nordstrom in the Garden State Plaza.
What? Are you kidding me? That was a shit.
I had a couple of my mans and they used to work there. Like, yo, and they didn't even want to give me a discount. I was kind of mad. Like, yo, so it's gonna be $330. Wait, so is that with the discount, my nigga? I know it's Gucci, but I thought you worked here.
No, we never.
It's $330. Wait, what is the original tag then? $350? What type of discount is that, my
and
nigga?
they might be taking some off the top. You don't even know.
I thought he might have just been scheming for himself, my nigga. Them joints might have been $0. It might have been his. He sold them to me for $330.
Shit be happening all the time. I'll be like, yo. I remember when I bought my first pair of Pradas back in the day.
Oh my god.
I said 300 bones. I know I damn sure shouldn't have bought that shit, but I was like, I worked all week for this shit.
Nigga,
I'm blowing
the
this
Pradas
fucking
was
money.
a must-have.
Yeah, I'm
from
blowing
like
this
2004. Even like 2010. Even now, like some niggas still be gathered. I'm not mad at it. Like, whatever you wear is what you wear. But at 2004 was like a wanted item. Like, you gotta have them Prada America cups, bro.
Yeah, Pradas. Not for no nothing. Pradas were like Yeezys. Now
I don't even know why. I don't know what happened. I think there was like that dude. Remember that dude Hurricane Chris?
Yeah.
He had felines that patented. I'm like, yo, Prada,
Yeah,
how did you let
patent leather.
How did you let them niggas take the design? After that, the stock plummeted.
Yeah, because I wasn't buying them shit. I was like, yo, man.
I had like 3 pairs too. I was like, damn.
Man.
I was like, damn. I don't know if I can wear these anymore.
Then I found greatness at Nordstrom. Shout out to everybody at Nordstrom Rack.
Right.
Then I found my way to Nordstrom Rack. And I was like, oh, everything's discounted over here.
Yo, man.
Spend the money.
Bergen Town Center is great.
Yeah,
Love
the
it.
money. Y'all, I know some of y'all who will be listening to this don't know what we're talking about. But let me tell you something. Everything costs bread over here. So when we find a discount on something, we be like, oh, it's on the rack up right now. But yeah, it's how can I say this? When you make money, you make good money. You want to find something you splurge on. It's a good thing, and I think a lot of people should pay attention to what you said in the very beginning. You said I bought more equipment. And did you find yourself becoming an equipment junkie, or did you find yourself just buying stuff that you needed?
No, because that's like I said when I first started making. Well, we was making money from when I was 2021, but like I didn't think about the producer thing of 2021. I think when I started thinking about it, like, oh wait, a computer costs $2,000. Oh wait, speakers cost this. Oh shoot, I don't want to use a credit card. All right, or maybe I have to use a credit card, but let me like start investing money into more of my craft.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing, like I said, my boy Lauren Dawson, a lot of musicians who put me on, Bernard Bell, even my parents, even though they weren't professional musicians, they were like, this is what you not do with your money. Because some of them went through their own trials, so they're like, look, learn from me. I might have had $100,000 or whatever, and I splurged it.
Blown.
Buying cars, doing this, putting rims on it. Nah, y'all not gonna do that. Not under my watch.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all do this. And we weren't like that already, but just in case we were gonna get online, they all kind of was like, don't do that.
See, you had a good upbringing, but you also had brotherhood around you.
Yeah.
And people to keep you balanced.
Yo, people on that's made brotherhood, man.
Yeah,
need that.
because sometimes it's crazy even for me. I grew up around it, but I had a criminal background from all my friends, and a lot of my friends were not the most easiest people to get along with.
Right.
But we didn't always have the checks and balance. Sometimes we were just blowing money to blow it, to go do things.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always easy as time went on and you started to see things around you. You started understanding like, damn, I made a mistake here and there. I should have just pulled back on it. But hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah.
So you understand, like, I needed to go through those things, so maybe my child doesn't go through those things, or maybe the homies that are underneath me don't go through those things. How's it been now that you're now OG?
I'm not no OG, man. I mean, it sounds like it from what we were talking because I did a lot, but I still got. I feel like I'm seasoned enough to be like, all right, I understand what it is to be a professional musician on all levels now. But I still got so much more to do, man. Like,
so no OG. Okay,
yeah,
that's good.
I'm not
So
OG,
musician life
man.
is a different kind of OG because see, most people would consider you an OG because of your age. And you've
yeah,
been
33, I guess.
and
If
you've
you
been
been in like 1920, but
yeah, you know what I mean. But see, that's dope though.
yeah, but then like in the thing about doing music or being a creator, which you kind of know is like it's a niche thing. But if when you niche yourself too much, because I'm like, and I always had this mindset, like I said, like growing up, I think people's taste of music or their mindset, how they view music, comes from three things. First is like your age. You think about it, and this you can spread this to anything. Like our grandparents might be like, Rocky Marciano is the best boxer. And we might be like, nah, Mike Tyson, because he was knocking niggas out in 10 seconds. Somebody else today might be like, 18 might be like, nah, Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
That's just because their age.
Yeah.
It's not because we're dumb or our opinion is skewed. It's just our age.
That's the Jordan talk.
Yeah, it's
That's
the same thing with
Jordan
music.
talk.
Like, we're all, anybody who's born in the 80s is going to be like, yo, 90s music from R&B to hip-hop is better.
Forget about it.
You're not gonna be like, we're just gonna defend it, and there's some validity to that. Like there's some valid points.
People, you get a fight from 90. People will say 94 to 98 was like the best form of music.
Yeah, but you're right.
And then you got a whole bunch of people will say, oh well, 2000 to fucking 2005 was the best time of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It all depends.
But you think about it, like my parents was like, nah, like from the 60s and 70s, all that stuff, Aretha Franklin, James Brown, all that, and Earth, Wind and Fire and Barry White, that's their era. So they're like, this is the best. Chaka Khan, all that. They like, that's the best era. Then you get somebody like my grandparents' age that be like, no, man, in the 30s and 40s, I saw Frank Sinatra and Cab Calloway. They're the best. Nobody's wrong. It's because what it is with music, whatever it is, the music of your youth is going to be what's going to be your staple for music.
Right.
Because it's the experiences. I can remember, like, what song when the first chick I liked came out when I was 13, what I was listening to, if it was Biggie or if it was Big Pun, or who was singing, was it Aaliyah? I remember the first time I might have got some real action, or I can remember the first time someone betrayed me, or whatever it was. It's all these youthful memories that's like, that's what my youth is.
Music is the bridger of all time.
Absolutely.
Because it connects you to every stage of your life. I can remember the first time I heard the Beatles. I can remember the first time I listened to, Queen and heard Queen and was like, whoa, or Nirvana. I'm not even talking hip hop. I'm talking other things
music,
here.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember like the first time I heard Enter the Sandman by Metallica. This is the music I like would listen to. And I remember the first time someone said to me, why do you listen to this white music? And I'm like, what? When did music get a fucking color, bro? You know what?
Exactly.
Like, no. Just because DMX is black does not mean it's black music.
Right.
Just because, you hear this person over here, you hear Limp Bizkit or something like that. I'm aging myself here. But you hear Limp Bizkit doesn't mean it's white music. It's all just music. It's a sound that comes from a speaker that hits your ear, that connects with your soul. That's music. That's what music all is at the end of the day.
I remember my band teacher told me, Mr. Henko, shout out to him, he said, yo, music is about people, places, and things. It's not about the notes. It's not about being a C major or F sharp or whatever. He says it's about people, places, and things. If you really listen to music, that's why people connected to it, whether the race or the color or the age, because it's about people. So if somebody has, I always love my mama, you connect it because you're like, oh, yeah, you only get one. Oh, this is my favorite girl, or whatever it is. You connected to it. That's an old-ass song. That's not from my era. Yeah. But I could listen to it and be like, yeah, I always do love my mama. You know what I'm saying?
It's there. It's a connection, and you'll always have that connection when you heard it. Where was it playing? I remember when I heard Crooklyn, when I first watched the movie Crooklyn. God, do you know what kind of you know how special that movie is? It just doesn't get movie's a special movie, and for anybody who loves music, that's a very special movie, man.
I'm a Spike Lee guy, especially in the early movies. He was killing it, bro.
He used to destroy things.
Better Blues, all them stuff. Crooklyn, School Days.
Where do you see your industry now? And are you going to be scoring anything that you're doing, like a documentary, anything that you're going to be working on privately?
Maybe not a documentary. Like I said, and going back to the Quincy thing, like I always looked at myself as more than just a flute player or a sax player or a keyboard player. Yeah. So like now, like you said, because music I feel touches everything. Like I've done some little short films for people, like where I had to compose the music and do film score, and it's like it's not just about like, oh, can you pick a beat for me? It's like, nah, I need strings right here. I need piano. Yeah. So now my arranging chops and all the other stuff that I hear here that I sometimes have to limit when I'm doing a hip hop beat or a pop beat because it's a certain format and order that they want. I could go deeper into it. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I just did this one film, and they're pitching it now to Netflix. The director, and the shout out to her name is Chelsea. Chelsea O. She's pitching it now, so hopefully it gets picked up. But it's like, scoring is a whole nother thing because it's the moods now. It's more moods than everything. And now, like, you have to depict what the person's going through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's a new challenge for you right now.
It is a new challenge, but I'm up for it, yo. I love it. Because I'm getting to use some of the tools that I didn't use. Like I said, when we was playing with Mary and Beyonce and all that stuff, and then we tried to do Broadway, we did Dreamgirls at the Apollo, and then we started trying to get into Broadway, and it's like, oh, shoot, we got to go back to reading music again. I haven't read music since, 3 years, and it's just like...
That's a whole nother level of thinking, right?
Yeah. It is, but it isn't. Like, because I've been reading since I was 6.
Right,
so the oral part, the listening part, and then, like, the connection with the left and the right brain was always kind of like being developed at the same time.
That's sweet.
Because your right brain is like that's the creative side, and your left brain is the analytical. Like 1 + 1 is 2 because it has to be. Because I had 1 and 1, and it has to be 2.
I never even thought about it like that, but that's dope.
The left and right they do different things. So people who do music, they always say, and that's why they always encourage. That's why people used to get mad when they used to take the arts out of school because you're using both sides of your brains.
That's a big thing that cannot be taken out of schools, man.
Yeah, and they doing it, unfortunately. But you're using both sides of your brains at an early age. So you know how kids, you're a sponge. So you're developing that. So by the time I got out of high school, that stuff was like second nature. Like reading music was like reading a book, like speaking a book. Like someone saying, "Yo, Reek, you read this paragraph for me." That's how reading music was. I didn't look at it as like, "Well, I got to sit down and focus," because it's like, nah, it's becoming part of how I understand music.
Right. So being able to find that new challenge in creating, I think that's probably giving you a lot of ability to do a lot of different things. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Was there any things that you want to step into that you're kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out about yet at this point? That you might like coming into the new year be like, you know what, I'm gonna go a little more harder.
What's crazy? All right, so I started this. All the playing stuff I started producing maybe like for real like 8-9 years ago. Got the Madonna placement. Then I started working with, I don't know if you remember BBD, Belba DeVoe. They did the New Edition story.
Yes.
So they did a whole album because they have like Mike Bivens was like, yo, we could do an album. So he hit up this dude named KG, who shout out to Naughty by Nature.
Yes.
He's the producer who did all the stuff by Naughty by Nature. He also was the one, I remember that group Jeanne back in the day.
Yes.
He put them together. He developed them.
This is all Video Music Box Life.
Yeah, this is his artist. He did RL and Next. That's his artist,
Yes.
Jaheim. So he's big on like finding talent, especially from Jersey. So I linked up with him through the Belba DeVoe thing. Like he called me to do like help produce him with that. So I co-produced him on that joint. And then we've been like getting artists now. So now it's just like you said, yo, we see you taking pictures now. I started getting into video, like capturing stuff. And now they're like, yo, E, you should go more of that. I know you're a musician, but like don't limit yourself. And I'm kind of like how you said, like it's a challenge because I got Final Cut Pro and damn, I got to look at videos now, how to code and color code, and I got to sit there and how to like.
You're going to be sitting on
now
that.
I'm buying plugins for like Final Cut. Like, damn, I'm looking at the videos. You're going to
be sitting on Final Cut. Your eyes are going to be, I'm telling you right now, your eyes are going to be watery. You better call Crump.
Yo, I've been sitting with these joints for the past like month and two, like, and it's a whole it's cool because I'm creative, so it's not hard to me. But like you said, it's the respect thing. Like, I want my stuff to look good, but I don't want to like not.
You don't want to.
I don't want to be around somebody like, yo, you got a toy camera. Or like, not even that, but it's just like
you don't want to be around the people who do it full time, and you be like, oh, so this is what you want to do now? You want the respect. Yeah. Everybody, at the end of the day, you always want the respect of the people who do it, because no matter what, I guarantee there was a time when you first started with the instruments. And you were around people who do it full time. You want their respect,
absolutely,
because you don't want to look like a half stepper. Look. There's nothing worse in the creative world than being somebody who's a poser. There is nothing worse. Yeah. If you're labeled as a poser, people will disrespect you.
People can smell that out from miles away, too. They're like, oh, you know about this shit.
Yeah, you know about like, yesterday I did a shoot, and I got with my man Lamar. Shout out to V-Prod, Vicious Productions. And we did a corporate shoot and everything. And he was telling me about some of the people that he worked with.
Right.
And he was like, yo, some of these people, they be having all this shit, but they don't really want to go. Like, you got all this stuff, but then you don't want to really go in. You're not willing to go do it. I don't care if the motherfucker's paying $156 or the person's paying $100,000. We still got to do it exactly the same. It can't be no half stepping.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't jump into other genres because of that reason.
But that's scary to me because I've been doing music, and I'm still doing it, like I said. So I got the artist I'm developing. We got our first artist. Her name is Leah Janae. She was just on the 4. She just turned 18. She's from Newark, New Jersey. Okay. Really, really dope talented voice. Like, we got like our stuff that's coming out where it's about to be fire. But because she's our artist and I'm in that developing mode, we're trying to get the Instagram, we're trying to get the social media. So I'm not necessarily taking pictures on myself. Like, we get other photographers, but now I'm taking pictures. But now I'm like, oh shit, my stuff got pristine. I gotta learn how to like use like a real lighting camera. Room or whatever.
Yeah, lightroom,
blah blah blah. And then I'm doing videos, so like, oh shoot, I got this shit gotta look fluid. It gotta look dope. And it's like, that's scary for me because it's like, I feel like I'm so confident what I do with the music. It's like, but.
Do you feel like you're ever thinning out? Like you're doing, like you might be.
Stretching myself too thin?
Yeah.
There's times I've done that, and it's like, this is lessons learned where it's like, oh, I'm not going to do that again. I try to put this too much on my plate, and then you don't get to really do everything at 100% because it's like at your optimal thing that you could do it at because you're like, well, I want to do this opportunity. And it's like learning how to say no to opportunities is, the power of no is crazy, but it's hard sometimes because you have to have good discernment to be like, this might not be the best opportunity.
And when you say no, and you got to look that person in the face sometimes, it's hard because you like, damn, I'd have crushed a nigga dream.
Yeah.
Did I do that? I'm going to do that? I don't want to do that.
But it's also just, it's for your own mental health, though, because like you said, if you spread yourself too thin, then you start finding out that you're not doing everything to the highest level.
I think a lot of people in your industry, and even in my industry, I think a lot of people are just like that. Creatively, period. I think that's just like, even with me, with photography and this podcast, I know my limitations. Like, I'm not going to take a photography gig the same day I got 2 podcasts. I got 2 podcasts today. That's the only thing that's going down today, Holmes.
Right.
This and whatever I got to do the other place, that's it. Ain't no nobody calling me at like 4 or like 3 o'clock in the afternoon talking about, can you do that? No, I don't care how much it is because I know I'm not trying to kill myself in that situation no more.
Yeah.
It's good to see you that at this stage of your life, you're ready. You're able to say no.
Yeah,
and you're not one of those people that's struggling and being like, yo, I don't care. I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
I mean, it's always like it's a day by day thing because sometimes I'm just like you said, sometimes where you just like, yo, you ain't got no gigs or something. It's like, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. And it's cool because it's just like you gotta humble yourself and you gotta like, it's a gift from God and it's I'll do it. Mm-hmm. And there's other times where you just like, the bag is nice, but the people like, will this be seen a good light? Like, are these the type of people I want to be around? Like, will this discredit everything I worked hard for? Because sometimes somebody might offer you $1,000, but it's just like the value of it is not that. Like what y'all doing, like what y'all represent is not $1,000. You could give me $10,000.
Yeah,
I probably won't do it because it's like it's not good quality.
No,
I'm a quality dude. I'm not a quantity dude.
Yeah,
which is why sometimes I won't post on Instagram for me because it's like I want to present. And it's not about faking it, but it's like if this is my art, I want to present the best art I can.
It was so long for me to get to that point to do that because you know my story obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like it took a long time for me to get to that point where now I learned to curate things instead of just being like, okay, I need to show I'm doing work. I need to show I'm doing work. And it's hard because everybody around you is doing something. So you feel like it's the whole community thing. If everybody's doing something, you're not doing something, you feel away. No matter, I don't care how secure you are as an individual, everyone has a chink in their armor, no matter how strong they are.
We're human.
Yeah, so it's always gonna be there. Like, so he's gonna be in LA, with Alicia Keys, and he's gonna be doing this whole thing right here.
That's the hardest thing for musicians. Every musician always asks this. Whenever you meet musicians, this is what they're gonna ask. Yo, so what you doing, bro? I'm gonna tour with Trey. What you doing after that? And you don't know. Or sometimes they meet you like, yo, so you still on tour with Trey? Like, for example, I haven't been on tour with Trey for 2 years. Mm-hmm. So people come to me like, yo, what's up with Trey? I'm like, I don't know. Ask that nigga.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, but sometimes I felt like I used to feel pressure. Like, I got to say I'm doing something. Well, I was, and sometimes it's not necessary. Like, yo, I'm working.
How much pressure was on, did you feel? Did you go to your class reunion?
I wasn't able to go because, so I graduated 02. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Charisma. She was putting together. I remember I was getting a haircut over there at the shop, and she was just like, yo, you coming to the reunion? I was like, nah, I'm going to be on tour. She's like, you always say that. I'm like, nah, for real. I'm actually about to be on tour with Trey. She's like, no. And I was like, nah, for real. I said, I actually kind of want to come to the reunion. Even though I see half of y'all on Facebook and IG, but I still want to, like, I wouldn't mind coming. I'm not that beyond where I can't come to the reunion.
You're 20 coming up. Like, my 20's here.
No way.
Yeah, I'm 99, so that's coming next year.
He's in 99?
99, so that's next year. Oh, you'll be there soon enough, don't worry.
Yo, 10 years was 2012. Oh, shit,
I be getting that dubs. I'll be like, you know it's coming, right? Oh, that nigga.
Yo, that nigga.
All you niggas is coming.
I'll go to the 20 though from around. Like, it wasn't even about that. Like, we started the tour in like October, and we was going to like maybe like February. And I think it was around October, November was
that's when they have it.
Was the thing. And Charisma like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I promise you I'm not going to be here.
It's always, why I asked that is because, like you said, it's the pressure of people asking you what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're going back to the reunion. Yeah. So what you been doing these past 10 years?
That would be the first thing people going to be on you about. So that's why I was like, damn, did you go to the reunion and they put the pressure on you? Because I know how that feels. Because it's nothing like being around your peers, whether it's college, high school, your fellow creatives. and you're in a group of them, and everybody's sticking their chest out about what they're doing, and you're just like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, because we fear mediocrity, and it's not even mediocrity. It's just like, yo, you could be doing something, but everything don't gotta be grandiose. So that's the scary thing about being a musician. We live an exciting life. So when you see us out, it's like, oh, this nigga's on tour, he's doing this, and that. But they don't see like I was home practicing for 4 hours. You didn't see that.
Right.
Or you didn't see when I had to bring all that gear in by myself and bring on them keyboards on them amps, nigga. You didn't see all that.
That's backbreaking right there.
You know what I'm saying? You don't see they don't see the hard work. Like, you gonna go home and edit this. Nobody's seeing all that.
No.
Like, because I've been doing these videos, a little 5-minute clip, you take me like 3 hours. I'm like, damn, it's 5 minutes. Imagine what niggas do for hours of clips.
Listen, I sat down, like I said, shout out to Crump, shout out to Fred Focus. I sat there, shout out to Vicious Pro. I sat there and watched these brothers edit, and I'd be sitting there like, oh my God, I'm not even doing this. I'm out. Like, this is like, I'm not even doing this. That's the reason why, it's partly the reason why I kind of fell back from doing YouTube like that, because I'm like, I don't have it in my head to do that all the time. And I can't, if the quality's not where I need it to be, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
If I can't do it to that quality or the quality of the next, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do this. But I found my lane with podcasting because I could do this, and I could do this all day long. I could talk for hours and days. So why not do something I really been wanting to do for years?
Yes.
You know, and photography, it just came something natural after I started doing the videos, and all of a sudden I started taking pictures. I was like, oh, I love this. I love this. Video work, I don't love so much. But this, I fucking love this. Do you go to become, and you're taking on this kind of executive role and working with artists and stuff. When it comes down to it, you started a label, yes?
Yeah.
How is it now that you're seeing young people? How is it now looking? You're on the reverse end right now, even though you're still growing and shooting upward.
Yeah.
You're still now. You got all this to look back on, and you got this vast of knowledge, and now you're working with artists, and you're becoming an executive. How is it changing for you? And would if and will that you get that call to maybe work at a label, would you do it?
It is changing. Let me see if I can answer the first part. It's changing. I think the hardest thing that the internet has done is erased our attention span. So it's just like I said, part of it is like, the natural thing that we just mentioned earlier, like, yo, what you been doing? That's people just want to know what you're doing.
Right.
But a lot of times it's just like, I played with Mary 05 in 2018. You know what I mean? So to me, that's like, oh, that's a while ago, and that's dope that I did that. But someone else been like, okay, and you know what I'm saying? Like someone who's 18 is like, Mary J. Blige is like, everybody. All right, so for people know Mary for the crispy chicken and the dance thing now, and the dance. But for us, for people our age, she's a legend. It's like, nah.
You see my eyes, right? I'm like, what the hell? What?
Yo,
no.
but for us, it's like, nah. It's like how my parents value like Shaka Khan, and it was like, no, she's our legend. Like she's our Shaka or whatever. Like she's a legend to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like someone who's like 18, like it's not even their fault though. It's like they don't know about them.
Their legend is
so.
Wayne.
Part of my resume, okay, Beyonce's Beyonce, so they're always gonna be like, oh, Beyonce. But some people don't know who Stevie Wonder is. You know what I'm saying?
That makes me sad, man. That makes me so sad.
I mean, Trey Songz is still relevant, so it's like, oh, Trey Songz. Or I'll say somebody like Demi Lovato. I did Demi Lovato like 2 years ago. It's like, oh, Demi Lovato. And then now she's had the stuff that she's being talked about. But it's people just forget so quickly, like, how hard people work and, like, the resume. And they don't even care sometimes.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
It's always what can you do for me now? Because we live in this age. We live in the microwave age where everything is, like, got to happen.
If I said I was like, yo, I just work for Tekashi 6ix9ine, they'd be like, oh, okay, that's what's up. But it's like, do you know the other people?
He hasn't even done anything yet. Yeah. He literally in the game. He's just got a couple. He's got a couple of joints, but to me, he just hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah,
it's
hard in that aspect.
It's hard in that aspect.
But I probably would do like if the position was right, I would definitely want to be the label because I think everything in life is about culture. You know, you got culture like in anywhere. There's a culture that's taught. Right. And I think sometimes the label stuff, a lot of people don't get it. Like, the power is in the people now. Like, yo, you have Instagram. That's how you could have done this 10 years ago, really. Realistically, and got the results that you got in these couple months.
No, not at all, brother.
But now you have access to your own platform. And it's your job to build it up. But I think that's what a lot of artists don't realize. Like, it takes work to build it up. Just like how you said, like, that YouTube thing, you got dedicated. Instagram is a dedication.
Yeah, you can't. Yo, people will get it. Like,
that's why we need a label so everybody can have their function.
If I'm editing everything, people's like, why don't you make it visual? Because I got to take that home. I got to edit that. I got to make sure the volume is all good. And then on top of that, I still gotta market and produce that, and I
And
gotta
you're
chop
one
that
person.
up. I'm one person.
You don't got a sound guy and a camera guy with you. That okay?
No.
Then it maybe could make sense.
Yeah, but I gonna have, and who has, and I don't have. I'm not rich, man, so I can't afford to pay these people. They're doing it off the strength of the GP,
Yeah.
and you gotta hold. And one thing I want to say to everybody: always hold your favors in your pocket, B.
Yeah.
Don't call those suckers in until you absolutely need that shit, because when you do, you blew that favor, it's not coming back.
Yeah.
Fam, they're not doing, creative people are not gonna, you got one
Maybe
creative,
two.
maybe two creative favors for free. After that, nigga, you call them a third time? No, pay me, period. That's how they are. Like, and I can't fuck with that. I'm not gonna ask you to go hold a camera for me, and I know this is what you do, and I'm gonna ask you to do that two
Especially
or three
if
times.
it's good quality.
Yeah, and then I didn't pay you. Come on, man. I know how it feels not to get paid for something, so why would I do that to you? It's not an easy thing, but I always tell people, like, if you want it, you can go get it. That's why I'm like, the label thing for you is probably like a natural progression.
Yeah, it was. I think life is all about seasons. You got sometimes where you're doing something for a certain amount of time, and then it's like time to go. It's not a good or bad thing. It's like that season is up. Now move on to the next thing, and God be having something else lined up for you.
Where do you see the musician industry at now, today, for you?
I actually think it's gonna sound crazy. I think it's actually at the best time that's ever been.
Woo! You think live music is really coming back into all music at this point?
Yo, let me tell you something. This is the dope thing about New York and LA and all that stuff.
How do you
big cities.
How do you feel about Hov's? Because Hov was like, for me, the first real artist I really saw, like, rap artist that was like really incorporating live instruments and everything into it. And how did you feel about the unplugs? Before we go any further, I don't want to miss these. Before we go any further, how did you feel about the unplugs?
I love the unplugs. This came out when I was in high school, I think. So I was loving them joints.
Yeah.
And because, see, I was already a Roots fan before Jay-Z.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like Things Fall Apart and Philadelphia Half-Life. I was already a big fan of the Roots.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Black Thought, all that. Like, I was a big fan of him. So when he did that, I think it was like the Blueprint album, right?
Right.
It was like around 2002, 2003. Mm-hmm. It might have been even earlier than that. But he did that joint, and I was just like, yes, about time, my nigga. Like, I almost was like, what are we waiting for? Should have been done this.
Yes.
But that album was dope, and then after that, but see, that was a collaboration with Roots, but like, artists actually saying, I'm going to hire a band, not just like, not a celebrity band, like, because Roots is a group, but he's like, just a band. Like I said, around 05, the funny story is 05, they married J. Blige. My man's before we did, then we got called to do Beyonce. While we're on the road, Beyonce, we got a call to like, yo, Didi's putting a band together. You guys available? I'm like, with Beyonce now. Damn.
Can't just say yes to everything.
Then Diddy got a band.
Right.
And then after that, a full band, like horn section, rhythm section, guitars, whatever, background singers. Then Jay-Z got a band. I got called to do the Jay-Z thing.
Whew. Damn.
So it happened, but it's dope because those are two influential people, Diddy and Jay-Z, and then they set the most. Now all these other younger artists is like, yo. I remember a few years later, me and Ron got called and we got to do the Dipset joint with Joel as a camera. And they was like, it was so crazy. They were so mortified about having a band that we was in rehearsal. I remember like Jim Jones stopped, like, yo, stop, what was that? He was doing Hey Ma, and we could get it right tonight. And we had like some little horn line, some little like horn line joint. He didn't know what it was. He stopped us because he was so shocked. So I'm thinking like, oh, we about to get fired. And nigga ain't like it. But he liked it, but he never heard that because they're not used to having that.
Right.
And he yo, play that again, son. He played it again. He's like, that's dope. And we like, oh, phew. He liked it, but because he wasn't like put on to that. So like Jay-Z and Diddy and like them influential rappers and artists, they kind of sparked a little like trickle down effect where not everybody's getting a band. But in 2018 and 19, yo, you got Daniel Caesar, you got Khalid, you got SZA, you got a lot of people who, their records sound hard and they produce, but we need a live band.
There's a lot
people starting to see the importance of live band. Donald Glover, like, you know what I'm saying?
Donald Glover.
I mean, he's a different animal.
Ugh. He's Jamie Foxx, Holmes.
Yeah.
That's Jamie Foxx.
He could be. He's on his way to being Jamie Foxx of this generation.
Yeah, but that's right. His son. Yeah. In the industry, everyone has a son that they help create. He's what he helped create, but he's on a whole other level. Like, he's one of the most talented people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he's super talented.
I didn't think about it until one day I was like, yo, he's got like 7 or 8 different things going on. It's just like, yo, you hear the ringing in the background. That's the phone about. Don't worry about that. Ignore that. Anyway, I just think it's just dope that's where that. But like, getting back to about where the industry is and everything, where do you said it was like this is the best time. How do you sense that?
It's not even about just having a live music. That's cool. That's all, I think it's coming full circle. I think everything is about like music is always reflective of the times.
Yeah.
So now we get to the time it's like we got the Trump stuff. We got all these social issues. So people are thinking about it, but also the way people are creating art is different. It's kind of like that time in the 70s where they bursted out with that. The 60s and 70s, the free love stuff, and then like what James Brown was talking about and all them dudes was talking about, it kind of sparked like this whole different thing.
It's a movement going on.
Yeah, and it's definitely a movement going on, but people want to hear, people like we live in fashion, all that stuff and music connected. It's nostalgia. You think about it, like a lot. It's crazy. A lot of like young sneakerheads. It's like my nigga, them Jordans. We was looking for them Jordans when we was in '99 and '98, and now it's like the sneaker thing.
The sneaker thing. You just saw if you come to Teaneck, ever come to Teaneck, you're gonna pass Packers.
Yeah,
and
Packers been there for years.
And now it's like
Come on,
complete deco. It's like it's a whole other level. To us, it's like this is amazing that they came from. There used to be just a regular sneaker spot that you would go to, and now it's like a full on like going there. It's like I feel like there's gonna be like elevator music playing, and you know you gotta take off your shoes at the door type shit. Like it's crazy how that's come about. So I think for real, social media, preferably, mostly Instagram, has curated an entire community of creatives that are just cross pattern because now bands need photographers, and they've always needed that. But now the band,
now I can get the access to it. Like, oh, you a photographer? Oh, you a podcaster? Yo, what's up? Now we can connect. You don't gotta go through a label. Sometimes it's more so people just didn't know about certain stuff.
Nope.
If I knew about all the photographers I knew in 05, my pictures would have been fire from 05. I just didn't know.
No.
And I knew like the dudes the ones I was referred to was like my mom's friends.
Yeah.
I didn't know any people who was 20, 21, 22. Now there's 20, 21, 22 photographers, editors doing it. And now you connect on that level. Now you could build something so by the time you're 28, 29, y'all could be the next whoever that you want to be.
And then you could put on like I always believe in that you should have creative fests where you just have people come to a spot. You got people who are artists. You got people who are jazz musicians like yourself in a way. And then you got people who are just musicians, period. They don't even have a genre. They're just dope. And then you got people that are dancing. You got people who are rapping. You got people who are doing spoken word. Those kind of things, I can't explain the energy in the room, but I went to a couple of those with Dubs back in the day. I went to a couple with other people, and I was just like, yo, this right here is fire.
I'm telling you, but it's like you said, I think it's the best because social media. You don't have to have a label.
No.
Now you have to work hard. You have to learn how to use it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes creators, not all of us, but sometimes if you don't have the vision, there's some people who are like technical, like you get them on an instrument and you're like, oh my God, they're amazing. Then you got some people who aren't that, but they see the vision. But as long as you have visionaries around you, your dream could come true. So why I think artists should still have a team. They should have somebody who's a dope producer. You have somebody who's a stylist. Have somebody who's an engineer. Have somebody who's a creative person with an eye like, yo, you look good in this. Let's try to run with this campaign. So now it's run like a label, but you don't need to have a label fronting you $500,000.
I think
so. It's going to be a slower. It's going to be a slower way you got to do it, but you can get it, and you can get sponsors, man. Yo, when I went on Trey, I had Super sponsor me. When I went with Trey, I had Super. I had this watch called August Steiner. I had these shades called Koala brand. I had mad people. I wasn't getting Nike, but I was getting like people sponsoring me, giving me free stuff, and I was hitting them up like I was showing them my tour schedule. Like, look, we're gonna be on tour, Chris Brown and Trey for 2 months. Then we're going overseas with Nicki Minaj. We're doing the Pinkford tour. Yo, what's up? I'm gonna be seeing. I need these supers. All right, picking them out.
Shit, man.
Free supers.
But that's
just take pictures of them.
I think that's happening now because I get hit up now for certain stuff, but I know it's kind of like it's bullshit right now. It's not legit. But I definitely see that whole they're really going after the influencers of people that are online and moving. But I think it's just that we live in the best time in history to be creative.
To be creative, yes.
This is the best time I've ever seen. Best time in because we have access to the internet. That's one thing, but we have the ability to touch so many people because of the internet, and everything is readily available because of the built out from YouTube. And if you can learn YouTube like you learn math, you'll be fine. But you better fucking put in your 30 to 40 hours in a week. And you better put in that and more and more and more. Because if you're not, man,
that's the thing.
You're not, then you really don't want this.
You just gotta sacrifice other stuff, man. We're all got the same 24 hours. You just gotta figure out I'm not gonna watch Netflix tonight. Oh, I'm not gonna do this. All right. And I think it's important as a creative that we still have that outlet of like release. So I'm not saying have fun, not necessarily fun and turn up, but like you need something to balance it out. But you still should have enough focus to be like, I'm gonna set these 4 hours a day to do this.
Right. And if you want to switch, like I'm switching to that. I'm thinking about switching to that 6 o'clock, 5:30 wake up life.
Oh, yeah, I've been waking up since 6:30 for a while.
Like I'm gonna
7, like unless I had a long